Welcome back, one and all, to the Riyadh Masters as we get into that main event group stage now. Play-ins all done, and we've got some cracking matches to follow up here for day one of the main event. Wagga joining me, as well as a little dino dancing up on the shelf as well to get started for this beautiful day of Dota.
Beautiful, there it is. Yeah, I mean, this will be exciting here. We get to see EG going up against Team Spirit. Today we have a matchup that I'm not really sure how I'm going to predict. We've been watching and casting a lot of Team Spirit games in DPC, Gareth, and I have a problem with knowing which Team Spirit is going to show up. They are obviously capable of being the best team in the world on the given day, but they also lost some absolutely unlosable situations, or not unlosable situations, but matchups they should definitely destroy. They were struggling. They lost games. They struggled in series. So I want to see, are they here to, be strong from the get-go against EG, or are they going to struggle the way I've seen them in the past?
Yeah, I mean, they're absolutely one of these teams that can appear mortal. They've got these godly moments, but we'll see how they fare. Coming out of their own region, they've definitely had games taken off of them where, like you say, they should be controlling that series and stomping them out, but they drop a game here or there to some lower teams. We'll see on the international stage if they step things up, as we can see our schedule there for today. Already having Gaming Gladiators, Spirit, Aster, and Liquid. Now, of course, moving into that second portion, EG, Spirit, and then later on, Tundra against Talon. Should be an interesting one later on as well.
Yeah, will be a lot of good Dota coming up here. I look forward to Tundra Talon as well. That should be an exciting matchup. But we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves too much here. I mean, first we have these guys going up against each other. And yesterday we got to cast VP versus Nine Pandas, obviously two teams that play against each other all the time. EG versus Team Spirit, though, they don't really match up as often, as obviously they compete in completely different regions. So it's really only the main stages, big events, that they get to face each other. So we'll see here if they're going to have a bit different approach to this meta.
Yeah, then there's also, that kind of roster swap that messes up the match history and stuff like that, where, EG now a South American squad technically with their roster. So, looking back, you would think, how did they do against Thunder Awaken? How did they do against Beast Coast back in the day? But most recently, 2023, Team Spirit have felt like they've had EG's number. Dream League Season 20, Lima Major, a bunch of 2-0s. There was a 1-1 where EG took a game off them. But overall, it's felt like Team Spirit has done very well against the South American squads in general. So we'll see if that's, turn a new page for EG, find themselves at this international land. They've done very well. Both them and Beast Coast have put up some big numbers this year in particular, getting top 6 in a number of majors, looking very good coming out of their region internationally. And going up against, former TI winners is always a scary prospect, no matter what form they're in.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have that in the back of your head that these guys, they know Dota. They know it's better than probably anyone out there. They're definitely with big achievements, and at the same time, I want to say that EG, they have a lot of eyes on them from different players, just for the ability that they have. Whisper gets a lot of hype for his performances generally on the offlane. Also, Kaz has been mentioned many times as wow, this is a stand-up carry. He's really, really fantastic at what he does. So we can't really expect Team Spirit to come in here underestimating EG, because even though you've been doing well in the past, EG definitely are capable of taking this game as well if you give them any chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, that kind of conversation about the new patch and how people are fitting in, we look at the off lanes now, and you've talked about it. They're definitely much greedier. Both side lanes kind of acting as position 1.5s almost in the matches we've seen, and that really does fit Whisper's playstyle. You talked about it. He's the one that a lot of eyes are on, and he has played carry from the off lane for years now. He has been the primary carry of Beast Coast and EG from that position 3 with his Timbersaws and Leshracs. So he's slotted really nicely into this kind of newer meta. Whereas Team Spirit, I think the opposite is true. Collapse was that playmaker. He was more of the S4 style position 3, where he's playing Magnus, he's initiating, he's getting things going. He's had to transition a little bit into being more greedy, which can be a difficult move to make.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I've watched as Collapse tries to adapt to the patch and realizes that the whole Blink Magnus style that he had before, not always as ideal in this patch. And I've seen him still go for that build every now and then when, just using Magnus as an example here. But I also see him try to go for Harpoon and more farm oriented on that offlane. Of course, Magnus has fallen off now, and not quite as popular on the offlane role. Now it's different heroes that we're looking towards, and one hero I'm looking towards is Broodmother. She's not banned right now, Gareth.
Yeah, right. That's a hero that's left in. But that is like another big topic because Team Spirit didn't play Broodmother until maybe a month and a half ago. Where like we were constantly looking at Eastern Europe saying Collapse doesn't play Brood, Collapse doesn't play Brood. They played it once and I think he lost that game and then didn't play it again for like another 2 months. So it's a hero that they're like not comfortable with in general from the POS 3. So we see the Mars here, whereas Whisper has made that change. You know, Whisper and Amar have both moved from being anti-Zoo kind of players where they've outwardly said we don't like playing these micro heroes to now starting to play the Beastmasters and Broodmothers.
I feel like Broodmother is very easy to get into as far as that. It's not really a zoo. She's so strong on her own now. Like, yeah, you have spiders, but that's really just an added thing. And you just turn on Unify Unit Orders in the settings. Boom. That's it. You know, just control right click. Yeah, control right click and you're going to be fine. You don't need to micro. You know, change your settings so you can tab scout with spiders and that's it. And I mean, we see countless players in different positions and roles. We see carry players, mid players, offlane players, all using this powerhouse. But for the opening this game, it's going to be the Mars coming in here for Team Spirit. Obviously a hero that they fancy a lot for Collapse. And the reaction here is going to be a Legion commander to start for EG. Not usually the strongest hero against Mars, as it's tough to duel into him due to the bulwark.
Yeah, I mean, the Mars maybe an indication of we're not playing Broodmother and you're not either. Maybe not a hard counter, but a hero that can contend with the Brood in a number of ways. Is the Legion the same kind of deal, where it's like, well, if you're not playing Brood and we're not playing Brood, you're definitely not playing Brood?
Yeah, a little bit. It definitely is. And they go for a very classic 1-2 combo here as well. And EG getting the Sky plus Legion, so you have the big burst and can secure yourselves those dual wins. But you're absolutely right. The Mars and Legion kind of shield off the Brood picks. However, saying that, I've seen Marses absolutely get destroyed on their lanes against a carry Brood or something. So it's not like you can't pick Brood into these heroes as well. You don't really rely on the spiders as much anymore. It's just about the laning stage and her auto attacks that's the powerful thing. But I like the opening here from EG. They just get, you know, they reveal their entire offlane, but at the same time, it's just very stock standard combo, right? It's a 1-2 punch, you duel, you ulti, someone's gonna die.
Yeah, and you make sure they don't have the Mars Skyrath on the other side as well. So lots of like little back and forths already in the first couple of picks of kind of block picking, stealing, and grabbing stuff that's strong on your own side and limiting the options of your opponents as well. Of course, we've already seen Enchantress, Timber, Undying, and Snap banned, not allowing that Snapfire to come in as that flexible pick. And a Chen, who's, I don't know, in my eyes, been rising in popularity through the Riyadh Masters. I've not seen him that much beforehand.
Yeah, he's become more popular. A lot of it comes down to just the fact that Penitence in laning stage is what people are starting to play around now, as opposed to the old style Chen where people were skilling the aura and buying a headdress. Now, instead it's more aggressive. You skill Penitence and buy a blood grenade, and then you kill the enemy. So it became more effective with the introduction of blood grenade. Same has been true for many different heroes, but you pair them up usually with Terrorblade is a big one, and now that they ban out the PL as well, it's almost, you know, indicating that, hey, we want to grab a Terrorblade, which he doesn't stand too well against Skyrath with a big magic damage, but he's a horrible hero to duel in general. Just his massive armor protects him against Legion.
Yeah, I guess another thing worth pointing out here in the grand scheme of things as well, both of these teams were straight into the main stage, group stage, so they didn't, you know, play the play-ins. They haven't had that couple of days of warm-up time. Of course, they'll have had their coaches and players, you know, watching replays, figuring out what's going on in some of the other streams and what the other teams are doing. And EG, they've already played up against 9 Pandas. They've had a little bit of gameplay gone on, and Team Spirit 1-1 Gaming Gladiators. So both these teams kind of, you know, hot off of some solid wins. You know, EG 2ing 9 Pandas, and just anyone who 1-1's Gaming Gladiators feels good about themselves.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Gaming Gladiators is one of the, you know, it's the team to beat, basically. They are, if you can take games off them, then you are definitely doing something right. So, very obvious hint here from Team Spirit with a Peel and a Naga ban that they want to go for a TB, and as a response, EG just going to ban out the Terrorblade here. They're like, okay, fine, don't get this hero then. So, kind of trading 1 ban for 2, but of course, it's also that they don't want to play against Peel and Naga. EG are quite comfortable playing them because definitely plays them really well.
That carry pool is going to get pretty limited though. Go down to the wire with carry picks. Might see like a Drow or a TA pop up depending on what kind of matchups they've got. all these illusion heroes, melee agi heroes being taken out. It does whittle down and diminish the pool quite a lot. And yeah, Medusa joining them as well now.
Yeah, they continue focusing on it, and will be interesting to see what they're going to end up with here. I feel like this is usually when you might go into territory where some of those not super popular currently carry heroes can come out, like possibly even a Sven or an Ursa. You know, Juggernaut's another hero that teams like to go back on a little bit when you don't really know what to go for. You know, the all-round carry who can do it all. That's team fight, push, Roche capabilities. He just fits very nicely into anything, basically.
Yeah, the knock-on effect is going to leave a lot of heroes in that mid lane open up for both these mid laners, C-Smile and Lal. It's where, like, assuming Legion Commander is off lane, I know for sure C-Smile has played at mid, and it's one of his, off-kilter picks. If the matchup's good, he will throw it there, but 99% of the time, it's going to be in the hands of Whisper. I think Lal, though, a player for Team Spirit that has some difficulties in terms of hero matchups sometimes, just the way the draft goes. He doesn't get that priority a lot of the times, but they've left him till second phase here. I'm a little curious to see if they grab his Ember Spirit or one of these big playmaker heroes that he's definitely shown off on.
Yeah, I feel like he's shining the most when he plays Ember. Absolutely. From the games that I watch, I also think that he can have big impact if he gets his hands on a Puck, possibly, or Queen in the right game. But it's not easy games to play it here. Going into Legion and Sky, the silence really messes up those heroes. And to an extent can be tough even for an Ember, but Ember can more easily play around it than a Puck, I feel. So we'll see what they get their hands on, but first it's going to have to be EG who have to show something here, and probably, maybe, you might look towards a carry immediately here, since you banned so many carries. PL, Naga, Dusa, Bloodseeker, TB, Morphling, all these were moved in the same phase. The only question is, do they want to wait and see what two heroes Team Spirit go for, and then grab a carry? They could just grab their second support right now.
And just bang out the Alchemist right now. Just whack it out there. It's a hero we've seen both position 1 and 5 from these South American teams. Oh, a Clinks. Okay.
I mean, okay, Clinks is an interesting approach to having something versus Chen, right? Usually people go like CM against Chen to try and be able to kill the creeps, but Clinks is pretty good because once you get a few points in Death Pact, you can deal with any creep that he's going to have by eating them. And once you go mid-game, late-game, you have 2 charges on that consumption as well. So you can really mess up Chen's game. And I think it's just more of a high-damage dealer. This is curious, though, seeing a Skywrath Legion Clinks. Makes me think that this is going to be either a mid or a carry Clinks.
Yeah, I was going to ask, because the precedent has been set the past 6 months or so that Clinks is like a position 4, maybe 5 hero. But yeah, a couple of Chinese teams, I think Shiro's been picking up position 1 Clinks from time to time. Can definitely slot into that role still.
Yeah.
It's flexible in a weird way.
It is slightly flexible, but I think a good reaction here by Team Spirit. Clinks, a hero that you need to catch. He's very annoying when he runs around in his invis. Now, if you just have some sentries down, you can easily land a hook shot and actually find him. You can go Leshrac as well here. So Mars, Chen, Clockwork, Lesh. They're going to have a double melee offlane probably then, with the Clock and Mars going together, which can pose some weakness to the laning, but they have a lot of stuns at least for when they group up and go together.
Yeah, it often feels like Lesh doesn't have any really poor mid lane matchups, and he often does good against those like Storm kind of heroes who want to be in the creep wave, trying to push out the wave, just lightning storm spams onto them.
Yeah, he punishes actually all the Spirit heroes fairly well, despite them being quite elusive later on, so it can be hard to land your stuns. If you think about Ember, Storm, and even Void Spirit, all of them actually get very close to the creep wave, which is nice for him, but he's going to be up against a Pango. Pango is a hero that I think fit fairly nicely here. You can also use the Clockwork against himself when you play Pango. If you want to roll in with the Pango roll, you can jump in with W, land in the cogs, and just pinball around and destroy the Clockwork.
Bounce back into him. One more round of bans. Are you still leaning into the carry Clinks?
I think, yeah, this has to be carry, I feel now, unless they want to do some weird form of, I don't know, +5, either Sky or Clinks, but both are kind of weird.
Yeah.
It could be done, because you're against a double melee of Clock and Mars. It's not like you can't run a safe lane Clinks or Sky support.
Yeah, and Panda's one of those players. He was playing position 5 Viper back in the day. He's not afraid of pulling something out that he thinks is a bit tasty. I could see it. And it often, I don't know, feels awkward last picking your support unless it's a super gotcha pick, I don't know, like an Oracle or something that completely undoes your opponent's draft. That's why we see Juggernaut and Venomancer banned, right? They're covering their bases here as Team Spirit.
Yeah, they're banning one carry hero, and then the other one is like, well, maybe it's not going to be a carry, it's just ban Veno. So Team Spirit, they're also baffled a little bit by the way that EG are drafting this. EG definitely coming in with a little bit of a curveball here. Team Spirit, much more predictable in how things are going to play out here. The only big question is, which carry rounds out their draft perfectly? EG, you have one more hero you can remove that you don't want to play against. They already covered their bases with a Bloodseeker. Don't have to deal with a Bloodseeker against Pango, so they remove TA. TA would be a pretty tough matchup here for Legion Commander to lane into. Also abuses Skyrath's low armor really well.
Man, it's a difficult spot. Like the amount of carry heroes left is pretty small. And then you're thinking about, like a Drow or something for Yatoro. There's Gap Close from Legion and Pango. Lots of magic damage from Sky. You might have to go back for, like, I don't know. Yatoro often relies on Ursa and Troll as his backup plans in his carry position.
Okay, Monkey.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, that's just a good lane matchup as well against the Legion Commander. So goes for the Monkey King. They get some sort of combo here as well with the Arena plus the Wukong's Command. They can double drop the circles and just win the fight under that.
10 seconds.
Okay, yeah, I'm down with this Monkey pick. I think it was a smart one.
Yeah, pretty solid. You can get on top of the Scarth Mage. Let Leshrac and Mars be your frontliners. There's tons of ways to catch up to people with Mars and Clockwork. Monkey King can pick his moment to jump into the fight when he's ready to strike. And last pick for EG, time to show your hand. The Bat Rider. Is that for Whisper? Or is that for Sea Smile?
Yeah, this is definitely interesting. So it's carry Legion, it looks like. Whoa. Okay, carry Legion, and they're running Matthew on the Clinks. Smile is going to be taking the Pango, of course, and Whisper. So it's offlane Batrider. They're really debated this Monkey King now. So they get the matchup that they want. They get to have Batrider versus Monkey, a good lane matchup that Monkey is not going to be very happy about. And at the same time, the safe lane carry Legion, yeah, it's not going to abuse Mars. But how does Mars and Clockwork punish a carry Legion? That's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how many bait and switches did we have in that draft from EG? Like 3?
Several. Yeah, several. I mean, they do this, and they get themselves good lanes. The only question is, do they get into a nice mid game? Do you play out nicely into the mid and late game here? Because carry Legion can be a little bit complicated to run, and is this going to play out naturally? But the lanes should definitely be favoring EG here, and Team Spirit, we'll see how well they can adapt to this.
Yeah, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like a very momentum-based draft from EG. They need to be connecting with these ganks out of Scarth Mage and Legion. Pango needs to be rolling. All of these heroes thrive in these early team fights to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, the only problem I see with it is that, well, I mean, there are many sketch things about it, but the only real problem I see with it is that Clinks is their only source of tower damage this game, other than Legion Commander going up and auto-attacking. Bat is not going to do anything. Sky is useless. Pango, he doesn't do much for tower pushing either. I mean, he can go Orb of Corrosion, but still, it's basically going to be Clinks pushing towers, and that's it. So if you shut down Clinks with good Clockwork gameplay or Mars getting his Blink, then I could see them not getting advantage of that momentum that they wanted. As you said, it's a momentum-based lineup, but momentum you need to get objectives. If you don't get objectives, then what's it all for?
Yeah, it's like opening up that map, you need more space to be catching people, hunting down this Monkey King, trying to find him out. That's, in part what this Batrider last pick was all about. Make sure that Whisper can get off the ground and try and catch out Yatoro whenever he's hiding up on top of those trees. We'll see how it all pans out, though. Game 1, we're back to best of 2s. We had a quick day of best of 3s yesterday for those play-in deciding matchups, but now it's back to a proper group stage, BO2s, or 2-game series. I think if you want to be technically correct, you can't have a best of even number.
There's no BO2, yeah. It always irked me a little bit, but,
Same.
I've gotten used to it now.
It was one of those things that I was dying on that hill for years. I was like upset with it. And it's just like, okay, well, everyone else is saying it, whatever. Well, I don't care that much.
Actually, it was the same for me. I used to compete and like play in tournaments a lot, and I wasn't used to people calling it a BO2 because when we play tournaments, we would just say, "Oh, it's just a 2-game series." Yeah. And then I got into like the casting scene. Everyone just calls it BO2. I'm like, what do you mean BO2? There's no best of. It's just 2 games.
It's just 2 games.
But oh well, I've let it slip. That's the way it is.
In the official document, I will say, in the official schedule made up by the admins, it does say 2GS, 2-game series. So
very
officially
professional, yeah.
Professional, yeah, superb. I had a smile on my face when I opened up the schedule and saw that. But off we go. A quick little pause into a 10-man smoke. Get ourselves across the map for this first game between the Eastern Europe squad and the South American team here. Should be an interesting one with this Clinks and Sky support.
Yeah.
And Team Spirit.
Heading out, dropping a nice ward across the river here on Team Spirit, so getting a little bit of a vision advantage for Radiant here on the mid. And we see Smile faking. He's not even smoked, right? Or he's still smoked, so he still goes up, does the fake Iron Branch play, going up, backpacking an Iron Branch, pretending they put down a ward, but nobody was there to see him.
Sneaky. Look at this, wards on top of wards. What's that, 535? Who got this first? Pakar's going to take up the Watcher. Mira with a sentry in hand coming over. Team Spirit is going to guard up that top bounty rune. Maybe think about swinging into that bottom jungle one, but look at where EG are readying themselves. They want both of the bottom runes.
Yeah, EG are going to get that too, and Pakas is in position to control top rune here. They show 3 heroes bottom, so now they're going to try and take 2 top runes. Pakas, is he going to fight for this? Pretty dangerous against top work. I think you just run.
Yeah, not the best spot to be in. Collapse shows up as well, and it's like, bounty rune is not worth like half of my HP.
You gotta respect the blood grenade battery assault. You would not be moving, and then a spear as well, and you just lose like 70% of your HP probably. But he's gonna back out. 2 for 2 on the runes. Nice and even game. Panda gonna TP to top lane on Sky as he was a little bit far. Wants to be there from the start.
Yeah, block up the large camp. Oh, that sentry. Is it just out of range?
I think it is. I think it's absolutely right out of range.
That's unfortunate. Bound to strike down the bottom. Yatoro Miposhka on top of Matthew's Clinks, but he's the one to get first blood, and Fairy Fire is there. Can he get away? Yeah, he can. He's fine against this Monkey King. And now pushing damage back onto him. This lane already starting really poorly for Team Spirit.
Yeah, that's a really sad time as a carry when you run that far away from the creeps. He lost 2 creeps for it, but also the denies that Whisper was able to get. Deny there and control the lane a little bit.
A top lane pressure as well from Panda and Pakaz. Collapsed down to about 30% of his HP. His Clockwork's gone on a bit of a wander, dragging creep waves around. Something we don't see that often anymore.
Yeah, it's not that common, but at the same time, when you're having a lane that you really don't think that you want to play it fair, it can be nice to try and get an advantage like this. So they're going to get something nice with that. At the same time, the reaction is for Pikas to just pull creeps as well, put them behind his own tower.
Panda. He's going to get the D-ward. Unlocks his small camp again. Mira just trying to be as annoying as he possibly can. Will take a fair amount of damage here as he gets chased back, but it's not worth running after him for more than just a couple of seconds.
Mid lane, quite a bit of harassment onto the Pango, but he has Bottle coming out right now, and 2-minute runes about to spawn, so he's going to backpack his stuff and Bottle up, and he'll be completely fine. Laurel already used his Bottle to try and get an advantage there, so small CS lead for him. Pretty even, though.
Man, everyone's so focused on like hitting enemy heroes and fighting. And CS in these side lanes, a little behind. Nobody's really losing out, though. Collapsed, given as good as he takes up in that top lane. Amira slowed down. Blood grenade there, but a spear from Collapse will hold them back. Bodyguarding his buddy.
Yeah, that's going to force Clockwork to sit back a little bit now. Maybe even go to base here, but he seems to want to stick around. Uses a Tangle, but doesn't have a salve right now, so going to be taking a while before he can really heal up. Bought a salve. Mars also sending out extra Bracer and Tangles here. Try and regen up.
Well, both Lash and Monkey starting to leapfrog up ahead of their counterparts. Bit of a lead there for the mid laner.
10 seconds for the Lotuses. Both teams want to play for it.
Mira with the cogs. We should be in a better position here. Let's see if Panda and Pakaz are able to both bully him back. That creep wave pushing further forward means Mira doesn't have the space to go for it.
He gets the control of the Lotus though on clock, and now he's going to salve up, get some regen, come back into the lane, and C-Smile. A bit of an awkward spot here, but he's going to run over, get himself this creep.
Is he?
Oh, Chen. Oh no, he's just taunting him, waiting.
The little hill troll berserker.
Oh,
Bounty rune denier.
This is absolutely despair for him. He has to run all the way back to base, I think. He's got Tango up. Does he really want to try and stay? If he uses the creep to control the water rune as well on Chen, that would be disastrous for C-Smile.
Yeah, I mean, lol. Just sitting on this enemy ramp. Get some more good damage in. Glyph in the creep wave as well, making sure C-Smile doesn't swashbuckle it down. While bottom lane, Yatoro does die to Matthew and Whisper. A lot of damage coming out of that bot lane from EG. As mid lane, the connection of the stun and a solo kill from Lol. Clockwork is rotating in. He's like, oh, okay, you did it on your own.
Yeah, walking in against this level 2 Lightning Storm, level 2 Split Earth is really hard. And now he puts a third point even in Lightning Storm. Going to be even more difficult for the Pango, who's having pretty much horrible start, which is pretty rare. Pangos usually do pretty fine in any mid lane, but look at this CS, 23-9, 12-3. The rune control there from Chen was crucial. If he got that water rune, he wouldn't have died. He could still have gone another rune, or the bounty rune, sorry.
Yeah. It's disastrous for him. I mean, C-Small is trying to push a bit of damage back onto Lol. He's being doubled up on by this Lash.
Yeah.
Monkey King CS looks pretty good down in the bottom lane, 20-1, but it's not a comfortable ride for him at all. Constantly being run at by this Bat and Clinks.
Yatoro is doing fantastic, actually. The lane is very, very tough, and his death, it does hurt a little bit, but at the same time, having 20 CS is very good in a lane against both Batrider plus Clinks, where Chen is also focusing a little bit on helping mid with the creep there.
Yeah.
So he's doing very fine, and as long as he gets his CS, gets his items, he will eventually be okay on this lane. But Batrider is having a very strong start. So it will be tough for him to be aggressive, since Bat can always push him away.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask, because we've seen, and I know a lot of analysts and pro players have talked about this Bat Rider build, where I feel like in the off lane we've seen the Firefly and Flamebreak get maxed out, but Whisper here has gone for 2 points in the sticky. Is this because he's against a melee carry?
I think it's partly that. It's more that it's specifically a Monkey King melee carry. He doesn't want to walk in with a Firefly and give a chance for Yatoro to get those Jingu stacks. So instead, he's actually playing a build that's far away and just harassing. So kind of acting as though he's an extra Clinks here. And look behind, there's a Sky wrapping around here to join in.
And Pakaz up at top lane. Well, his heroes are running down bottom. Mira and Collapse right on top of this Legion. Going to take him down. Mira survives on about 100 HP. Killing the carry's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah,
now Panda's come back up here and he's like, oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't even get anything for his rotation there, as it was correctly read by Team Spirit that the rotation came in. They had the ward over on the... or they didn't have a ward, but they placed a new ward over on the portal. It's possible they just checked the portal, to be honest, to see that rotation. Since you can see it in Fog of War, they may just have seen what was happening, and that's why they played aggressive top and backed out ball.
Just knowing what's going on. Keeping tabs on those portals and Lotus pools. It's just another thing to realize and understand what's happening. Regen rune down bottom for Lash. Nice tasty rune for him.
And the Lotuses were claimed up, so one for the Batrider here. Also one taken top by the leading commander.
Nice bottom lane. Sticky Napalm plus the tar from Clinks. The thematic lane.
Yeah, it's a nasty one. You just get harassed from so far. And top lane, Collapse taking a lot of damage, of course. No duel available yet, so not going to be able to secure a kill or anything.
Matthew trapped in the cogs. The situation you were talking about. Clinks does not like being stuck in there with Mira. He's going to chuck some tar at the Clockwork. That's just going to smooth up all his cogs, let him slip away from there a little bit speedier. C-Smalls closing in with a Bat Rider on the right-hand side, and they will collapse in onto the Clockwork in the end.
C-Smile very happy about getting an easy kill participation there, getting a last hit on it as well. Tango definitely needed this to try and help him come back a little bit, because he's currently sitting at a 27 CS versus 61 at 7 minutes.
Geez.
Laurel is insanely farmed here. Like, he's been clearing a little bit of jungle, and also pushing out mid. This is absolutely crazy CS for this moment in time.
Hey, he's probably thinking, why didn't we pick IO, boys? We could win this game in 3 minutes if we had this IO Lesh running around. Hey, put up some monstrous numbers. And Poshka's made his way up top. 2 supports in behind Collapse. He's about half a level away from 6, which could be that moment of aggression from Team Spirit in the top lane. Makars still level 5 himself, struggling to clear out the large camp and hold on to his lane as it's being dragged back to the Radiant Tier 1.
Yeah, and got robbed as well. They stole the big creep there, coming in with a God's Rebuke. He missed his Q on Legion, didn't get it. And yeah, both teams taking some time here to stack up jungle. The Ancients are being prepped on both sides. Mid lane though, C-Smile uses ulti.
Yeah, he goes straight onto the Lash, but he gets pushed to low ground. Good positioning from Lal. Gets away from the dangerous situation that was coming because the TPs from EG were readying themselves for a proper fight. A level 8 Lash and a level 6 Pango battle in the mid lane, and Lal's just like, yeah, okay. You can take this lane. I'll sod off somewhere else.
Yeah, he's gonna have to try and find some recovery, honestly. He needs to make side lane rotations, I think, because this Lash is very tough to bring down, unless they bring a lot of resources to try and get it. Top lane now looking a bit more volatile as the ultis are available. The Mars Arena with Chen having double Warpine Raider. Do a bit of damage. You could maybe try something with that.
Well, you could have a crack. Mira guarding this top jungle, so it looks like Team Spirit just aiming to carve a bit of terrain for themselves to play in. 4 heroes all up here, clearing out jungle camps, making sure that EG don't have easy access towards that top tier 1. And EG going to react to this by actually swinging down south, boot Yatra out of his lane, send him to jungle.
It was spotted, so he's going to avoid the gank on the Monkey King here at least. He doesn't get caught by the Legion as they have ward on the portal. Teams having that vision. But Legion just going for the tower now instead, and with rotation from C-Smile coming over as well. This is just the tower trade. Top tower being taken by a Radiant. Bottom tower is starting to be pressured as well slowly. Their creep wave is not there yet, so Chen is actually faster here.
That Warpine Raiders. That's what they're here for. Push in and bully that tower. C-Smile, DD comes to an end. It'll take a while to take down that tier 1 bottom. It has given a bit of room here for Whisper to clear out Ancients. Farm a couple of stacks.
The big part about Whisper clearing Ancients is that now we have Klink's ulti online. So I think Klink's in general pretty bad early game, but once he gets level 6 you can start making moves. Now he has to be careful not to get caught by some detection. Mid.
Yeah, they've slowed down Lal, pushing back with a flame break. In comes Team Spirit, Mira to defend him. Split up onto 2, beautiful stun, still dies, and Whisper surviving, but the arena's there to catch him as well. Collapse, continuing the fight in a 2-for-2 trade. Seems pretty even. A massive bloodbath in the mid lane, and both teams now waving the white flag, saying, okay, right, we've suffered our losses, time to back up, I think.
Yeah, they spear him there at the end, but not going to be able to do more than just clear up the ward here as Collapse kind of cleaned up there. That was a beautiful 2-man stun. If you didn't get such a nice stun on Leshrac, that would have been worse for them. They wouldn't have been able to get the payback kills.
It does transfer still into pressure from Team Spirit, but here's the Clinks with his damage. Poshka and Mira, they've killed off Panda. Lose the Chen in the trade, and now Whisper's TPing in. Trying to get over the top of Mira, but the cogs are well placed. Flame break.
Lasso, but spear. Nice spear to shield his friend from the lasso here. Keeping him safe.
It's been good from Spirit reacting to this. Yeah, like we said, momentum for EG, a key component of this draft to get the ball rolling, stay aggressive, keep making these plays. And if Spirit, they're trading out evenly. Like that fight mid was slightly favored for EG in terms of the gold swing because Lesh was such a big kill to get. They can come back out, not relying on any cooldowns, and continue fighting back.
Yeah, and he's working on that Bloodstone. He's very close, actually. Only 360 gold to go, and he will have the complete thing ready. And right now we see Klinks just kind of stalking here, trying to find where Yatra is farming. He has the Solar Crest, so if he wants to, he can go over on the Monkey King. Very dangerous, though, with Clockwork in the game. You will very quickly get TP punished, I think, if you show yourself here.
This is just classic Matthew, isn't it? Invis hero behind enemy lines, doing some sneaky stuff.
Stalking.
Yeah. The recon man.
He might set up for Batrider here. If he jumps down on that creep wave, he dies, I think, on Yatoro. Very dangerous. Is he going to see the Klinks? Yeah, he doesn't.
We scanned. He knew someone was coming with the scan turning red. The flame break's going to touch him, and Yatoro dropped to the ground. Matthew and Whisper here with a lasso to take him out of the golden circle. Oh, the TP attempted. Yatoro not going to get away successfully. And in the meantime, actually, Mira with the rest of Spirit have killed off Pakaz. So, again, an even trade. Pos 1 for Pos 1.
Pos 1 for Pos 1. Yatoro, very clean reaction there, but I just wonder if he switched his threats to strength, maybe he would be able to TP out there. That was so close. Looked like he was going to live for a second. But he does go down. Legion as well, dying. Doesn't have a duel to her name yet. Has the Blade Mail available, but no Blink Dagger yet, so see how the scaling goes.
Yeah, right. So what's the goal in terms of itemization for this Legion? Is it just the same as the classic offlane one?
Oh, he's trying to catch, but he got caught by a center stun into a cog push. He's probably going to build normal Legion Commander items, yeah. He's not going to build as a real carry. You have Clinks and Pango, so physical damage exists within your team. You don't need to be like a, full right clicker.
Well, the hook shots there from Mira, and Yatoro looking to get his revenge on Matthew. Swipe down the big old stick. Sea Smile's crashing ball. Gonna come onto the clockwork, but Collapse is here. Pakaz with a duel. Some good damage with a swashbuckle to claim the victory. But now an Arena Spear. Collapse and Yatoro lining up onto the Pangolier. Gotta be careful though as Panda joins in. Everybody's arriving to this fight, filtering forward, and Team Spirit are the ones to hold that little bit of high ground in the jungle.
Yeah, I feel like Team Spirit have a little bit more sustainability in these fights. They have more stuff to just keep fighting. And especially with that Chen ulti coming in as well. They did lose the clockwork, and it was an important first duel victory there for Legion Commander. But I see the problem with EG's draft a little bit as, yeah, they're running for these fights, they're taking fights, but then they're also not getting more done on the map yet. As we see again, Matthew just stalking, looking for Yatoro. This is very bothersome for Yatoro. If he gets a Quelling Blade on the Clinks, he could actually, consider solo killing him, as weird as it sounds, or at least force a TP to base. Because when Clinks W's you and Solar Crests, you're not going to be moving.
Well, I just remembered, I've seen a couple of players watching some replays buying Quelling Blade early on, and Monkey King is one of the only heroes I've seen people do this. Why and when do you buy Quelling Blade nowadays on heroes?
I mean, Universal heroes pretty much never buy it, and then it's just certain melee heroes that you wanna have it on. Sorry, as they go up top, you might see Killer Matthew punished for his stalking of Yatoro.
Stop hunting me! Get out of here! Even had Mimposhka and Mira behind as well.
Yeah, almost makes you feel like they might be looking towards something more here. 15 minutes. Roche is about to move towards the top area. They have Chen with Solar Crest. Could be thinking about taking it, or just pressure top lane.
And just keep your numbers up here. Think about that arena play. And there's Roshan coming up to the top left corner.
Their intentions are clear now. We know what they're up to. It's going to be Roche, but will EG react to this, I wonder? Not sure they will.
Yeah, not really in position. I mean, Matthew's TPing up here. The Clink's the one who would like to go forward and scout things out.
This is a fast Roche. He's dead already.
Yeah, these Chen creeps. Helping out tremendously. Level 12 Lashrak and doing some serious damage.
Penitence and Solar Crest together is so nice. Extra attack speed for people hitting, minus armor on the Roche. And Roche losing attack speed actually leads to less bashes too, which can speed it up a little bit.
Matthew still lurking. There's a Radiant Sentry off to the left. Just out of range of it. And in comes EG, looking at Collapse. Wukong's commander's dropped. The lasso's there. The Hand of God, though, keeping Team Spirit topped up for now. And they've killed off Matthew, trading out the Mars as this Rolling Thunder causes problems for them. And with the 2 circles dropped, EG don't really want to fight straight on into it. So a head-on clash leads to a 1-for-1. EG still fighting to Aegis and getting a little victory.
Yeah, they did get a support for a core, so the trade is good. And they were also farming meanwhile over on the side of Pakaz, just, working on that Blink Dagger. Not a bad little skirmish for him to take there. Even forcing out the Wukong's command.
And that gives Pakaz time to get his Blink Dagger up. Pretty big wave coming in that bottom lane. He's getting wrapped around on it, looks like. Mira and Miposhka, yeah, both coming through the Twin Gate. Collapse shows on the lane proper. EG have all moved into position here. They want to fight with this Blink duel.
Yeah, he wants to set up here.
He's the one holding that Aegis, and they'll start with a hook shot into the chain stun. Incredible amount of disables there. All overlapping onto the Pango, and EG Still in an area where they could look for a pick-off, but yeah, just scattered to the wind. They're smoked up, but it's time to run. Yatoro and Collapse giving chase, trying to catch up to them, but they're in the fog. Hiding behind the tree line, can't be found. Scarith Mage will. He's the one left to the wolves.
Even Dusting looking at Klinks the same route, but Klinks wisely ran to the south, same as Bakas getting out. But again, Team Spirit just feel a little bit stronger in every big engagement. They do bring a lot of heroes for this. So meanwhile, there was some farming being done. We now have the Blink Dagger very close for Whisper here as he has his travels, and BKB already, of course.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see teams feeling confident to fight into Aegis like that, though. You could see the idea there for EG to get a quick pick off, maybe snipe the Aegis, get into position, but they were just a little too separated to really connect on anything meaningful.
I think it's such a crucial point in time. Oh, Bakas not
Inside
gonna get
the
out of the arena.
Completely caught up. Teammates are coming in, but the Legion's already dead. Sea Smile will take down Miposhka. Mira's Courier dying in the fray as well, but he's trapped inside his own cogs. Created a cage they can't get out of.
That's not worth it for them at all. You take down the Legion commander, which is nice, but losing 2 heroes here in the process and having to run away and concede the area. Meanwhile, though, Laurel trying to make the most out of it, pushing mid. Tier 1 tower still standing at 18 minutes. I was gonna say that the thing about Aegis, like minute 15 to 20 or something, you can't really just be passive. Later on in the game, yeah, you can kind of sit back and just wait because it's not that important, but right now it's too early in the game to just accept that the opponent have control of the map. You can't just sit back and let them do whatever they want. You need to be out there contesting, threatening something.
Man, Monkey King is a Deso now. How well can he survive inside a duel, actually?
He lives. Depends if he gets stunned or not. Like, if he gets solar crested, or if he gets rolled on, or something like that, then that will ruin him. But if he's not solar crested, fighting into the blade mill, he's actually gonna be pretty fine. He'll destroy the Legion.
Chen is going to solar crest the Legion. The Klinks is going to solar crest the Monkey King inside the duel. Both of them just stand there, looking at each other, not attacking.
Or they both solar crest their own players and both attack even faster.
Oh, hell yeah. Collapse has been found by Whisper. Hand of God giving a little bit of leeway, but a BKB mid-spear from Whisper will secure the kill with a bit of sticky napalm coming out of his backside. As in the river down at the bottom rune spot, Mira inside the Mystic Flare bursts down. Wukong's commander's there and Sea Smile looked a little stuck. Will roll through all the statues as they whack away at the Pango. That'll cut things short. Clockenmar's dead. EG still 5 heroes up and running.
Yeah, Batrider's here, but he doesn't have Lasso anymore, so a little bit awkward if they want to go for more fights. Could try it. Okay, Legion has queued up Midas.
What?
After Blink Blade Mill.
Okay. What are your thoughts on Hand of Midas in general?
I like Midas, but there's a time and a place for Midas, Gareth. I don't know if this is it, man. Like, it looks like a pretty nice game to have a Halberd. Looks like a pretty good game for BKB. It looks like there are items that could be good to have on Legion here that are not Hand of Midas. I will say that Legion, she needs a lot of things, but attack speed is not really the most important thing for her to purchase. She gets a ton of attack speed, and she has Retaliate. I don't know, this is a greedy item.
So, Midas nowadays, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's more of an XP item than a gold gaining item, right? Oh, hang on a second, Panda. Top lane. Just a quick kill on a support.
The main motivator should be to get experience. Or mid jump as well. Right?
Yeah, catching out Whisper with no BKB for 5 seconds, but it looks like he's pretty damn speedy with boots of travel in the wind lace, and he jumps back in on them. Catching out Yatoro's Monkey King with a lasso. Klinks has arrived from the right-hand side, chasing the Monkey King with a swashbuckle and a disarm. The Monkey King tried to mischief, but he can't get away. EG, they bring everybody into this mid lane, and Lol, isolated with no Aegis left, does have the Bloodstone to pop. Pushed around by the Rolling Thunder and a little stuck on this cliff top. Collapse wanted the God's Rebuke, but Sea Smile juked him over the staircase, and away he goes.
This is why Whisper has a lot of fans around the world, man. This guy, he's so good. He baited them there. You could say that, this is just a misplay by Team Spirit, but he also stood there, aggressively giving them the chance to go on him, knowing that his BKB is on cooldown. A lot of players would chill there, not go up on the creep wave as they didn't have BKB ready, but he felt confident, baited them, ended up being a double kill punishment, getting Yatoro killed as well. This guy definitely knows his limits on Batrider as well as many other heroes.
So yeah, with the main motivator being XP from the Hand of Midas, is there like a talent or something like that he desperately wants this game?
I would just say no. I mean, I don't really see this being a crucial thing. Legion has decent talents on level 15 and 20, but none of them are game-changing.
Okay.
This is just him saying like, oh, I want to keep scaling. Legion isn't the best carry, but we're going late game. We can't really end the game early because of our heroes. Like I said, they don't have the best push heroes.
Right.
So you have to somehow go towards late game. I just think that you keep fighting, though. I mean, you only have one duel. You need to get going. Why pick Legion if you're not going to win duels? Midas is a farming item.
It's the Chen counter. That's what it is.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. He's definitely going to be running around with his Midas ready, waiting for Chen.
Off cooldown. Where's Chen? Where's Chen? Where's Chen?
Any minute now.
We'll find him. Yatoro on top of the canopy, just hoping there's no clinks nearby.
It does make me concerned, though, for EG's chances here, because you have BKB on Batrider, and that's great, and Pango can roll around, that's also fine, but if your carry hero delays the BKB like this, it's gonna take a long while. He's going back for it. He bought the Ogre Club, but still needs Hammer and Recipe. Look at the timings, though, on Team Spirit. They are gonna be first towards their BKBs. They have the BKB on Mars already, and they're going BKB on Leshak. He's gonna have his before the Legion as well.
And they'll have Havas and Forstaff on Mira, saving tools out of the Clockwork, Solar Crest and Drums on the Chen. Tons of auras and ways to continue just keeping these fights going.
Yeah.
AG looking, yeah.
This is what they need to do, though. Try and make smoke ganks, try and make moves. I don't really like that they smoke when top lane is already that pushed in, though. Because see how far it is. And Matthew, not even going to push it? This is too obvious. There's no way Yatoro doesn't smell this gank coming.
Where's the
There's
Chen?
no way.
Because don't use it on these... Well, no. You meant to wait for the Chen, but... And Midas. The efficiency.
They're just in no man's land right now. There's no Roche. There's no hero on top. You see, Yatoro is definitely not pushing top or farming the top area. They're all going down bottom through the portal now. They're going to walk under a ward, though, if they go this way. Spotted.
And they see Whisper. EG chasing ghosts right now as Team Spirit. Maneuver down to the bottom part of the map with everybody looking for this big head-on clash. Collapse leading the charge. Whisper might get spotted here as he moves forward. There it is with a jump and a spear. Can they chain stun him? No, they can't. He gets off his BKB. The Wukong's is forced, and EG scattering off to the right-hand side, thinking about a turnaround. Return into the fight with a lasso on the Mars, the Mystic Flare. The combo's there. Blow up, collapse, and Team Spirit now down a hero, going to get chased back themselves. Nice bit of ebb and flow to EG's movement, and the Blink Duel going to collect another victory here for Pakaz.
Yeah, that was a good turnaround. Baiting with the Batrider, BKB, Octarine, a little bit too tanky. They did have Vision there on Team Spirit, but the only hero they saw was Batrider, and of course playing into this Legion Commander, she does have a save available, so can't really burst him like that. No continuous disable for them.
Tier 2 glyphed up. Should still fall. Eventually take it down with the Clink's damage.
This fight was really important for him, I think, because like we mentioned, their tower push isn't the best, but just by winning that fight handedly, Clinks allows himself to take that tower. Now mid tower is kind of questionable if it can fall as well. It's possible, and Team Spirit's top lane. Whisper's on him.
Whisper, oh man, he's found him. Drags the Monkey King out of the tree line, and there's another duel win for Pakaz. Moving it on to Mira, see Smile going to find a nice little bonus kill, unless Mira can slip away with a hook shot to creep wave the TP out. Ooh, barely dies. Almost survived.
Even played the sound of the TP finishing there, but he still goes down, and Roche is up. They have way more damage than needed here to bring it down pretty fast. I don't think they're going to be up in time here. The Monkey dead for way too long. So the best they can do on Team Spirit is just push the side lanes right now. But this is going to be Aegis as well, going over on the side of EG. Everything just coming up really nicely for them. And all these engagements they took and the tower they got means that they actually do have the BKB now on Legion. So Midas not really punished.
And just continuing to grow. Scaling up. 66 bonus damage now, I think, as well on that Legion. Having a good couple of minutes. Like these past 5 minutes, we've got about 3 dual victories.
Yeah, he was at 10 for a very long time, but of course having the extra dual damage talent and getting 2 duels back to back like that, 56 more damage.
This is one of those games that if Team Spirit loses, though, I feel like Batrider's going to go into the first phase bans.
Yeah, I think so. This Batrider definitely doing a lot of work this game, but also the switcheroo, right? The way they drafted. I was concerned about, they're going to get good lanes, but how are they going to play into the mid and late game? Well, we're in the mid game right now, and EG have made a very nice transition to here. Matthew, sitting on the high ground, staring at Mira.
Hello there. Mira with a TP out, knowing there are no stuns. Matthew just being an irritant.
Middle tower has fallen.
It's not a kill, but it's still painful to have to TP base, because, you have to go refill your resources, and the enemy knows that you don't have TP available now, and they know exactly where you are, so it makes it tough. You gotta go back top, though, and try to contest here, but Wisdom Rune spawning soon.
Top tower is under
Yeah, you sat in Fountain. That's where you are.
Oh, Yaturo's been scanned. They might
Hello.
catch Yaturo here if they bring over Batrider.
Legion's coming.
Legion is enough.
Matthew.
The two of them kills him.
They just need to stop him from jumping on the trees. There we go. Force the bound strike and another victory. Up at top, Team Spirit trying to force the issue here, knowing that they could have a numbers advantage with two heroes TPing bottom. But Whisper slips off into the fog. Away he goes. Oh, Collapse was hunting as well. He went a little deeper, looking for Scarlet Mage, but he's out of there.
scanning.
They're playing it so well right now. Really nice movements across the map on EG. Now going towards mid, regrouping. They still have vision in the enemy triangles that hasn't been removed yet as well. They have great info now for this fight. Miposhka in trouble.
Man, this Clinks can maybe solo kill him. Oh, is Pekaz ready with another duel? Nah, it's 20-second CD. We'll move forward, but this is very aggressive from EG. Mira has died to Whisper elsewhere, but Pekaz loses his first life to this ledge. Oh, Lol has moved so aggressively, though. We're getting surrounded by EG, who don't want to fight into this still. A little worried about that Lol. BKB Bloodstone, the Lash. He's had such a tremendous game, Lol has. They've dodged him for a good 15 minutes, but now facing him, still not something they're comfortable with.
Yeah, definitely. They have to be a little bit careful about how they approach bursting this Leshrac, as they had both BKB and Bloodstone. Now going top, they're just hunting right now. Matthew is leading the charge, scanning for where Yatoro is, and he finds him again. Doesn't have his
Yatoro
friends
isn't-
nearby enough, but he's got to start, keeping him in place.
Yeah, don't jump on the trees, Yatoro. This Monkey King is not a happy chappy. BKB TP, the physical damage is coming. Ooh, a close one, but does successfully get back to Fountain.
Gonna be able to get out, but this is not Yatoro's game anymore. He's not able to farm anywhere. This Clinks is absolutely just hunting him. He's gonna have nightmares this night about this Clinks just showing up. Look at him, wherever he goes, Clinks is already on the way. He's farming bottom now. Look at Matthew. He's like, yeah, I can smell it. Bottom side of the map. I'm on the way. Coming in, he knows where Yatoro is, and his only job is to reveal him for Legion and Batrider at this point.
Radiant's top tower.
Ah, just a Monkey King radar. Bing, bing, bing.
Yeah.
That's a Chen. No, not going to bounce off of that. Where's the monkey? Where's the monkey? Oh, okay, we'll jump out for this. Arena from Collapse. Matthew getting drifted around there and does get blown up by Laurel and Collapse. EG wanting to continue this fight, though, as Whisper leading forward. I don't know if he wants to straight up lasso the Chen. He'll maybe think about this Leshrac instead. And he's getting burnt down by the Edict, and Laurel with that BKB given a lot of freedom. The hookshot misses, though. Mira doesn't get the connection he wanted, and now the Blink Duel, Mystic Flare, they've got the Blade Mail and the damage of the Lash, killing him off quickly. Wukong's is out, but Collapse with his BKB runs into the middle of four of them, lassoed up for now as the Monkey King with the Battle Strike takes down two. Kaz Invis and C-Smile chasing Miposhka, not able to get the finish. Now trapped in the cogs, pushed back as he swashes to the right, does get the takedown finally with a double kill. Where's Pakaz? Does he want to come back into this? Mira TPing home, away they go.
This is very interesting. He bought Shard on Monkey King, which I think is very smart this game. If you think about how the game is going, they're like stopping him from jumping around. They're trying to prevent him. He has the Shard, so now he can use the Boundless Strike to reposition himself. And that was useful for him in that fight, but also could be very useful if Clinks tries to set up on him.
Not again. Yaturo's just screaming for help. Guys, I want to farm some creeps.
This is very dangerous. What does your gut tell you? Do you go for it, Yatoro?
Well, Collapse has a gem behind him now.
But look, even then, normally Yatoro would like keep pushing lane, take over enemy jungle, farm as much as possible. Now he's on breadcrumbs, man. This is not a lot of farm, and he knows that they're top, and he correctly knew that they were top. He pinks it afterwards, like, see, they were chasing me again. He's not paranoid. They are actually just hunting him.
If I went for one more wave there, I was dead for sure.
Yeah.
Mira looking to try and stop this Clinks in his tracks, but Matthew has a Force Staff now. Collapse is needed with the Arena Spear. Press the attack is there for the Clinks to survive a little longer. And a Blink duel onto the Monkey King. Legion Commander with a Blade Mail, not really doing much here against this Jingu stacking Yatoro Monkey, but a Whisper, the Flame Break. Do we have the lasso? The shield crashing in from C Smile will take down the Monkey King thanks to that Rolling Thunder. Eventually finished off. And Whisper does still have this lasso as Lal aggressively moves on to the Legion Commander in the backlines. He's 1v3, zoning them out. Over towards the tier 2 at the top lane. And Poshka being burnt down by the Mystic Flare. Collapse needed the spear to hold back C Smile. Leshrac still going wild. BKB for Lal, stunning up the Clinks. Pakaz, the save for the press the attack. Doesn't even get a single kill.
And meanwhile, still hunting here. The Pango just bullying people out. Man, Laurel is getting kited so hard in this fight.
She can't do a damn thing.
This is very tragic to watch for him. I don't know whose life is sadder there, but I mean, the Monkey King is just getting absolutely focused by everything. And meanwhile, they just control this Leshrac, avoid him getting anything. And he has a Blink Dagger. Blink Dagger, BKB, Lesh. You'd think that maybe he can lock onto a target, but they're pretty elusive.
Oh, Lesh. This refresher orb, Whisper. He's got double BKB, double lasso. They've got the duel there. I think so quickly dispatched with the Leshrac. This was a guy who was like, what, 62 and 20 or something out of laning stage, crushing his mid lane. It's just been a vacuum of empty space for him the remaining time.
Yeah, he really hasn't taken over the game the way you would have expected with how strong he was. He was absolutely massive. Now bottom, Arena used some Whisper. He TP's out with Lasso. Oh, he's gonna die to a shard though.
Miposhka being hunted by Matthew and C-Smile. He's popped his dust, but dead in the trees. Yeah, that kill on Whisper, the big one there. 1,000 gold, almost 1,200 for Collapse.
This is still definitely EG just firmly controlling this game. As they go base now with a few heroes, see if there's a little bit of space for Yatoro to get out on the map, man. He is fighting to try and build a Lincoln Sphere, but he needs both the Cornucopia and the recipe.
I still can't get over the fact that this support Clink's like legit item build is Solar Crest into Nullifier. It's just so amusing to me.
Yeah, he went to 4-step as well. Yeah, I mean, it is very carry style. You don't need to buy a lot of items. Solar Crest is good enough to carry you through, you know, the entire early game, basically. That item alone is a lot of impact. So you can greed for that Nullifier. Once you have it, of course, it's going to be annoying for the enemy. You can dispel the Jingu stacks as well, so Monkey King can't lifesteal.
Yatoro needs to start picking up the pace here. Like you said, closing in on Lincoln's. So you got Daedalus into Nullifier queued up next.
I feel like the story isn't even that he needs to pick up the pace, it's that they don't have anything if he doesn't do it, right? The Clockwork plus Mars combo, I'm just not convinced by what I'm seeing so far from the two heroes together. You don't threaten to kill anything. If you go on someone with Mars plus Clockwork, nobody dies. But at the same time, if you go on someone with Sky plus Batrider or Sky plus Legion, then something dies. It's a matter of like having damage access, and Block is just a little bit too low damage to pair up with Mars, I would say. That's why Snapfire usually, you know, Snap or Lich or something that brings more magic damage. Yeah, or Sky yourself, yeah.
That's why it felt so good in the draft that EG like stole the Sky to pair it with a Legion. Like, you don't get the Mars Sky, we get it ourselves.
Definitely did. And they also get the Aegis here, taking down Roach number 2.
And some big items being grabbed as well. Scythe of Vice.
Lincoln's finally completed here for Monkey King, as he has it. And over on the side of Chen, got the drums plus the Vlads, trying to provide a little bit of sustainability to his team. Leshrac is going for a Hex, and Mars already has his Hex. So the big play here is, can they get initiation with the Mars Hex? Problem is, though, they kind of have to go on Legion, and Legion is Aegis. If you don't go on Legion, Legion can save whoever you go on. Or at least give them a chance to get away.
They see that, right? They see the Lotuses being taken.
Yes. If you look at it, yeah. It doesn't make a noise, though, in Fog of War.
Oh, they don't go chasing. Matthew grabs a few of them.
Oh,
there's the Blink, though. Does find the connection onto Matthew. Clink speared back. And there's no answer here from EG. They're a little too distant. Oh, but maybe there is. Whisper and Picard, they both blink in. Big overwhelming odds, and the Mars being focused. Refresh up to the bat. They've killed off Collapse, and they're moving on to Yatoro. The Monkey King's in trouble. Yes, Team Spirit to BKB, but the physical damage from EG is overwhelming them. Lol will TP out, but they lose so much.
Man, the damage they have even when you lose Clinks before the fight starts is so absurd right now. They have all the scaling in their team. Legion Commander got 208 dual damage now with Silver Edge as well, so she's got the crit. Absolutely massive. This is this is just looking very tough. I don't even know how you stay alive on the side of Yatoro. He BKB'd, he had Lincolns trying to protect himself, but even if you BKB, Lincolns can still be broken by something as simple as a single target spell, you know? Even if it doesn't go through, a little Arcane Bolt, yeah, okay, it's gone. BKB doesn't stop Lincoln's procs anymore.
What's the observer signaling to me? 19 to 30, 37 minutes in, 11k lead.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, the fight recap isn't there. All right. So
Yeah,
where's the fight recap button? God damn it.
Dota is saying that it wasn't even a fight. It was one-sided, and I completely agree. You know, this was just EG running in. I mean, look at the fight from the perspective of Team Spirit. They just couldn't put up with anything there.
Poor Patrick. He's like, Gareth, you idiot. I'm not showing you something. I'm showing you something's missing.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Goodness. EG looking very good here in game one. Setting themselves up, still holding Aegis and Cheese in position. Yeah, taking the gem as well there. Panda's grabbed one up. Taking out the enemy ancients. Make sure Team Spirit's piece of the pie is getting smaller and smaller.
They can barely even get out on the map at all now. This is when, you know, you take a Desperation Tormentor so that you don't lose it at least. But Roach was also taken by EG, so they have that Watcher. If you go up there, they're gonna know you're there. They see you.
They know what's up, and the Whisper, and there's no fear. BKB blinking, straight into collapse. Lincoln's was put on him, but a little too late, but the duel is there. Picard's aiming straight for the clockwork, but the damage on the Picard's looking tremendous. Team Spirit take the Legion's first life. Inside the Wukongs, the Venn diagram of doom. Double circles here, but lol, I don't know, he should feel safe inside here, surely? No. The duel is there. Yatoro now stuck, slowed to a crawl with 5 stacks of napalm, can't bloody move. Team Spirit getting handled by EG. Not a chance in hell.
2 cores dead, no buyback. They could call GG now, but we'll see if they're gonna try and fight. They did buyback on the Leshrac, but it's just him and 2 supports against 5 heroes. And yeah, the duel, 284 duel damage now as he won 2 duels there with the Refresher Shard.
Actually, like when you put down this arena and Wukongs, usually it's like a signal of this area is ours. Don't you dare fight here. And EG just walk straight through it.
They're too tanky at this point. Yeah, they have Shivas on the Pango as well. Going in on Legion.
Yeah, Picard's half HP. Anyone to save him? The 4 staff down to low ground. Clinks gets him out of danger. C-Smile with the lasso from Whisper, catching up Lol, and kill the Lash. Dead for 110. The dieback on Lol. Surely here signals the end. Team Spirit getting burst down with another duel victory for Picard's. And game 1 all but done.
They're not giving up. They're hanging in here. And right now it looks like EG are just crushing Team Spirit here. They didn't really have an answer to this Clinks just running around all game, finding Yatoro. Like, the story of this game is just, they had good pickoff heroes, but they also got the vision. And yeah, this is actually the story of the game.
The story of the game.
Yatoro with the help. I feel bad for him, though, because they couldn't really save him. But the problem is that, you know, he could be fine getting picked off like that if his team was achieving something big as well at the same time. But they just didn't. They didn't have the moves. They didn't go for anything. They didn't make anything happen while he was being bullied on the Monkey King, and that just can't happen.
Picard's 322 bonus damage. Smoked up and looking for a target. Ninja Gear giving him this safety.
Look at the 3 cores with a 24k net worth, by the way. All of them just up there. Very happy and comfortable. 25k net worth lead at this point. So one of them could drop out entirely. They would still have a net worth advantage.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. It was a Pango 10 and 2. And here's a guy who got... What did you say? He got crushed in lane by the Lash?
Oh no, Yatoro again.
Oh dear. Lincoln's broken. 4 staff used. Duel is there. And Picard's another victory. That's 70 seconds with no Monkey King. No buyback for 1,500 gold. Team Spirit, I don't know. It's past the line of needing a miracle at this point. You need some cataclysmic event to take out EG here. Collapse even through the BKB getting burst down. And there it is. GG called. They lose 2 core heroes. And the game will end. Lol trapped inside the cogs. Mira, he's stuck in there with C-Smile and Whisper over the top. Got a few celebratory kills at the very end. 42 minutes. EG with a solid, crisp performance against Team Spirit here in game 1.
Yeah, this was a very, very strong performance, and this is also, the concern I had for Team Spirit that I was talking a little bit about that we saw in DPC in general. They, in game one in a lot of series, they would drop against teams that, teams way weaker than EG here, teams that they really should crush. They were losing games to them in game one, and if you're losing those games, sure, often they would come back and win game 2 and 3, but this is just a 2-game series. You don't have a game 2 and 3. Dropping a game here, that's half the series lost already.
Yeah, you don't have time to, feel things out, get into the groove of things. You've got to be ready, snap into action. And here we just see how strong towards the end that the Legion and Batrider were. No fear. Go blinking, blind up into high ground.
Yeah, they knew the initiation was used already. The Mars already committed his spells, and they saw the positioning of everyone. That's all they need. If they have vision, and here we see that fight that you were talking about. They dropped the Wukongs. They dropped the arena soon. And
the cogs.
Yeah, the cogs even. All the small circles here, But it doesn't matter. The Legion is pretty tanky, getting a lot of heal from her high attack damage. Tango doesn't take any damage at all at this point, and Batrider kind of just cruising around, doing whatever he wants. Grabbing whoever he wants and just pulling them back into his team.
Yeah, this Panda, position 5 Skyrath Mage, had a pretty sweet game, So many frontliners who just jump in, cause havoc, get the vision that he needs. He's just sitting on the back lines, throwing spells. No real fear. The Clockwork had to focus on hookshotting Clinks. Monkey King and Leshrac really looking at these core heroes to try and kill. So the supporting cast of EG were given a lot of free reign in these fights to do whatever they wanted.
I think they're going to ban Clinks next game. I think just because of, save Yatro's mental state. Very strong mental player, but that game looked infuriating to play.
Do you do Bat and Clinks?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, possibly. Their priority doesn't really need to be in something like Broodmother, right? So you definitely could. It's a matter of pick your poison a little bit. But I think if you didn't have Clinks there, the Battering wouldn't be that big of an issue because it didn't have the vision all the time. That was just the big part. He always scouted out and just stalked around. Yatoro had to double guess himself every single time they was like, can I farm this camp? I don't know. Can I? I don't have a sentry here. I scan. Sometimes he scanned the creep wave before he jumped in. But even if he did that, he's still just slowing down his pace overall. And then, of course, dying a lot to these pickoffs.
Not comfortable at all. Yeah, I mean, you might be right. It might be like Timber Clinks, because if you do back Clinks, you leave Timber in for Whisper, and that's a no kind of situation.
Yeah, he's actually way better at Timber than he is at Bat. He's a strong Bat player. He's a ridiculous Timber player. So I think pick your poison a little bit and accept the Batrider without vision. That's fine. Normally the heroes that give vision, a lot of them happen to be like offlane heroes. You have the offlane Lycan with Wolves, the Hawk from the Beastmaster, something like that. So if he plays the Batrider himself, there might not be that great vision advantage. But that's where the Clinks was just crucial for them here.
Well, there we go. Game 1 for EG. Let's see if they can continue it in this best of 2. A quick break before we return with that second game.
Open your eyes.
When you look into my eyes, tell me what do you see?
Tonight I'm gonna show you the wonders of them all.
Hey, I got nothing to lose. I got nothing to lose.
I need warriors.
So is this what you want to be? You want to war? Show me what's up, kid. Now we ready to bust in. Take everything, leave them with nothing.
There is a place where you can elevate what's hidden inside. Where you can reframe yourself. Sonomi means the new you. The you can step into. Because when we know who we really are, we become unstoppable. Enter new dimensions of you.
Welcome back to the Riyadh Masters here as we continue our series between Evil Geniuses and Team Spirit. Game 1, quite an interesting draft leading into some pretty interesting lanes, and that mid-game, EG, they showed what they were made of.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they transitioned so beautifully out of the laning stage. That was very tricky, hard to read. Their draft was definitely a curveball. I think they came in well prepared here to do something strange that Team Spirit were not prepared for. And it worked out really beautifully. They took over the map in a great way, limited the amount of space that Team Spirit could enjoy. But also, I want to go back to Team Spirit and say, what was the real idea between their own stuff here? I mentioned it early in the draft that I'm not a big fan of the Mars plus Clockwork combination. Like, it doesn't threaten to do that much on its own. And if the carry gets shut down, then everything, all the pressure is on Laurel to have big impact and make plays. And he was a Leshrac, and he honestly played pretty greedy. He was not playing as a playmaker. He was playing as he wants to keep growing and, get big and get strong. So I think maybe Team Spirit got hindered a little bit by their own strategy, but EG, they got way better game there in game 1.
Yeah, it was almost as if Team Spirit kind of got, too deep into that mind games of like dealing with the Broodmother with the Mars first pick and then kind of trying to counteract or counterpick the clock into Sky, clock into Clinks, trying to deal with things that way. They got into their own heads, and quite often when you get into this position where you're counterpicking rather than creating a cohesive draft for your own style, you can just lose out in these real chaotic clashes.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. But I think a lot of it comes back to just the pairings that you make. I mean, collapse Mars, it's really good. Just give him any form of companion that you can play around and make plays together with, because he's happy to play that. It's not just a counter to Broodmother. Anyway, new game, and this is a best of 2 or a 2-game series, as we prefer to call it. And Team Spirit 1 game down here, but they can still tie it up at least against EG. EG coming in with the Leshrac first phase ban and Undying ban. So leaving the Brood in there. And of course, right now I see that Timbersaw is not banned, Gareth.
Yeah, we were talking about this at the end of the game. Do we ban the Bat, the Clinks, the Timbers in there? Team Spirit opting for that Ench first, and with this Lesh Undying, it also leaves Snapfire in for a first pick.
This complicates things. I said that I think Clinks should be a ban after the first game there, just because of how annoying he was. But maybe they have a good reaction to Clinks here. Maybe they have some preparation. But do you leave through the Timber? They banned it in the first game. Legion. Wow.
Legion?
That is some respect to Picasso on his carry Legion from last game. I mean, obviously Legion, perhaps they just banned it because it complicated the draft so much, right? The early pick Legion baited them entirely. They picked Monkey King. They thought they were going to be Monkey against Legion, which is a good lane. Then they ended up being Monkey against Batrider, which is a terrible lane. And suddenly they were very unhappy with how things worked out. So they leave the Timber. It's snap picked though by Evil instead. It's going to be Snap being snap picked. Joining here.
Yeah, and I guess the Legion is flexible across all 3 cores, right? Showing 1, 2, and 3, so you never sure.
Yeah, mid Legion is pretty damn good actually. It can play very high tempo still. Doesn't have to be farming that much. Once you have Blink and Blade Mail, that's really all you need. You just keep fighting with your supports. And interesting here, we see the Silencer. Hero that's fallen off a lot in favor. He used to be the support along with Undying. It was like the top support of the patch, but then his mana cost got nerfed on W from 15 to 20, and that's literally the big reason why he fell off. Also, they nerfed a little bit initial damage on the Q by 20 damage, but the primary thing is that you can't really glaive spam anymore as effectively as a support Batrider. It's very tough to do so.
They take the Bat. Yeah, they've done this quite a lot in the past, Team Spirit. They love that Silencer. Used to be like a response to that old Pugna Storm, where they would go Silencer Ember Spirit as a second pick duo to try and counteract those combos. Taking the Batrider for themselves, the priority of this hero just rises. Like Whisper plays it once, and it's like, oh yeah, this hero is pretty sick, huh?
Their intentions are looking very clear right now. Yeah, I mean, Batrider definitely a good hero, but look at the way they banned as well. They banned the Legion, picked the Silencer, picked the Batrider. I think this Legion ban, it's mostly about Collapse being countered by it. honestly. Collapse is such an initiation type player. He
Yeah.
wants to jump one hero and burst that one hero, and Legion makes that impossible. We saw what happened when they jumped the Batrider last game. He just got pressed the attack and pressed BKB, and suddenly the entire initiation turns around. So now they ban the Legion, get Silencer and Bat, so it's a very obvious game plan. We're going to jump in, we're going to grab one with Lasso, pull them back, global silence, you can't do anything, that hero dies. EG though, they go for a pretty smart move. They pick an early Naga. They can dispel, of course, against both Silence and Bats, that's not too bad, but also having illusions to push out creep waves is amazing against Batrider to try and prevent those ganks and avoid getting caught out.
Yeah, I mean, another one of those saving heroes as well is out there. Maybe not something that a lot of teams play nowadays, but EG have shown both position 4 and 5 Oracle against Silencers, against Bats, against some of these heavy initiation tools. Because you can still do that like Fortune's End precast against Global. You've got ways to dispel things, keep people alive. Not sure how that could fit in here, but maybe something in the back of your head thinking, hey, that's a possibility.
Yeah, Oracle is definitely an option. It's always cool to see heads-up plays against Silencer with Oracle, since you can dispel yourself and then ulti a teammate and dispel them by doing that as well. So you basically remove silence from 2 players. It's a real strong play and gives you still that save that we were talking about with press the attack against Batrider. The lane, though, a little bit weak. If you were to go like Oracle's Naga lane, it's not really ideal. Naga needs like some form of lane bully to shelter her for the first 3 levels, I want to say. She needs to get to level 4, level 5, and when she has that, her illusions are going to start taking over. You can farm jungle super fast, but until then, you need someone with a big presence, and Oracle is a pretty minor presence in lane.
Yeah, he is a sit behind the carry kind of support.
Yeah.
Doesn't really play forward.
Does better with something like a Chaos Knight on his side, or even a Huskar carry or something, and just rely on them to be the beefy damage dealer.
Well, some beefy boys being banned out. Pango, Beastmaster, Tide, Mars. Getting rid of quite a lot of these off-lane heroes. So kind of looking at this Batrider as a potential mid for Lal.
Yeah, definitely could be. Definitely could be. I think that's a big probability here, because you don't really want to lane Batrider against Naga that badly. You can max Firefly and be okay on that lane, but it's not the most oppressive matchup against the Naga. And Batrider mid does good against pretty much any single mid hero. He doesn't really struggle. So I would prefer for them to just consider him Laurel's hero in this game. But then I want to see what they're going to pair up here, because Silencer and Batrider, yeah, the initiation is clean. We talked about that. But what are they going to bring it into? Something needs to murder the opponents. Something needs to bring them down. The damage is missing still. So what's it going to be? Who's going to be the +4 hero?
You need the meat grinder. Hell, there it is, yeah. Turn people into sausage.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest meat grinder in Dota, right? The saws all over the place. And they also block a little bit by taking this, remove the possibility for EG to go for it themselves. Not that I think it would be likely into a Silencer, but, never put it past Whisper to play as Timbersaw.
Yeah, they've got Bat and Silencer. I'm not counted. I'm Whisper.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm
pretty good going into a Naga lane as well, right? I guess no real position ones want to lane against Timber once he hits level 6.
Yeah, it's a very nice lane for sure. Timber against Naga, he is happy. He can kill the illusion super fast. In general, he can clear the illusions pretty well into the mid and not really late game perhaps, but he does decent even all game through. So pretty nice pickup here. I think it's a good reaction. Now EG, the Snapfire, who's she gonna play with? I think that this is gonna be a +4 Snapfire, but it could also be, of course, a mid lane Snapfire, which is very popular. Could be offlane Snapfire even. Yeah,
I mean, EG definitely one of these teams that love to flex all these heroes across multiple roles. And Team Spirit right now feels like they're lacking a bit in that objective taking. A lot of magic and pure damage, good catch, tons of DPS. Not really good at taking towers or objectives right now. And I started thinking like, oh, do they want a TB or one of these heroes that can do that? And then you realize, wait, they're against a Naga Snapfire. It gets a little awkward picking your objective taker when you're already soft counted by a couple of these heroes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and say it again, man. This is a Sven game, I think. The Yatoro Sven, I'm a big fan of it. I think he does really well on it. Also think that he could go for his Juggernaut against this, especially seeing the Venomancer now come out. Makes me feel even more Like that could be the option here. A little bit annoying hero for Sven perhaps to deal with, but they need something that does pretty well against Naga, something that also brings a bit of tower push to the table. And yeah, I definitely don't think that TB is an option anymore, but we'll see what they want to go with. I mean, they can have a strong lane no matter what he goes for. Silencer usually is very competitive on that safe lane.
I'm pretty sure Veno is usually a Whisper hero, but looking back, the Sea Smile has played it. Yeah, Whisper, Whisper, Whisper. So they've got Flex on the Venomancer as well for the mid lane if they want to put him there.
It's a big part of like EG's identity, I feel, that they're an unpredictable team in the draft phase. Like they are in general pretty capable of swapping, a little bit like we saw before with like Sacreds, being
And Dark Mago.
Yeah, exactly. Dark Mago and Sacred just having a lot of overlap between each other. It can be a very good thing. It can also be a little bit awkward though, because then you have two people practicing the same hero. You feel like, could we have a bigger, potential?
Just widen that hero pool. Well, Medusa, that last pick in the second phase. So Bat mid, Timber off, Medusa in that carry role, Sansa 5. As Batrider's still the one that's potentially flexible as a 4, so we'll wait until that last pick to see if they show their hand a little more. This last ban phase, though, it still feels like both teams pretty open and flexible. Kind of difficult to get a read on what they're wanting.
Yeah, I mean, Mira definitely loves playing the support Batrider, even though it has been nerfed. I wouldn't put it past him to go for that as well. So we'll see if EG decide to ban out mid heroes here or pos 4 heroes, what they think is more important. They're gonna ban the mid heroes, yeah. I mean, Batrider pos 4 not as strong anymore, but the combination of Bat plus Timbersaw is still a very strong lane.
Especially when Bat can just like leave the lane for a bit and go and stack. You could make massive ancient stacks for your Medusa and Timber.
Yeah, he really could. He really, really could. And help with the rune control, potentially. Depending on which mid-heroes you have, maybe a rune control is going to be very important. As EG, get rid of Laurel's Ember here. Ember is a hero who's very good against Naga. Once Naga gets the end snare, it can be annoying. But the general matchup is hard. Did you know, by the way, there's a counter. I'll teach you a little counter between Naga and Ember. So Naga doesn't like Ember that much. If you get Aghanims on Naga, then if Ember Sleight of Fist to try and dodge your end snare, it still hits him. And when the Sleight of Fist ends, he's rooted. Like it
follows him.
Yeah, because it hits invulnerable units with Aghanims.
Right.
So Sleight of Fist doesn't actually dodge it anymore if you get Aghanims, and then Ember just dies. It's a little trick in a pretty bad matchup otherwise. But back to the draft, they actually ban out Underlord. Interesting.
Yeah.
So they're thinking it could be a Laurel Timber, and that is an Underlord against Naga, which is very, very strong matchup with a pos 4 Bat.
And I was wondering what this last ban from Spirit is, because the most normal, average way of doing this is Snap mid, Naga carry, Veno off lane, and maybe Rubik 5, give Matthew some kind of sneaky ganking hero.
Yeah.
There's so many ways of doing it. That's a Wind Ranger ban.
Yeah, but I mean, if you don't know exactly what your opponents are doing, ban the hero who could go in any position as well. Wind Ranger could fill in many different roles here, off lane or mid, even as a support possibly. Not 100% sure, but I think we're gonna see Whisper on the Venomancer here. It just looks like a pretty good core Venomancer game to me. But it's not great to be against Medusa as Venomancer. That's one thing about this Medusa pick, is that she doesn't care about the HP percentage loss, right, from Venomancer. Is potential damage there.
Yeah, I mean, at this last pick, looking at Team Spirit's heroes, this feels like a pretty good Nyx game as a pos 4, but I have a really poor read on that hero in general.
Nyx for
EG.
For EG here? Yeah, I mean, against Timber Batrider and Medusa, definitely there's a lot that you can do.
Like playing with a Veno?
They could fit it here. They could definitely fit it. I mean, since they have so much flex in their team, I think it's a hero that would be interesting to see them go for. But Nyx is tricky. It's very all in on getting kills. If you can't get kills, then everything falls apart. Lycan?
That's a Lycan.
Into Dusa? Okay, sure. I mean, Lycan does really well against Silencer, and he doesn't do too well against the other 3 heroes, honestly. I think
Yeah.
Medusa is pretty damn good against Lycan. You get tower push, though. So they had extra pushing power. They were missing some of that. But
5 seconds
this pick
remaining.
baffles me a little bit because I
Wolf
don't
bite
feel like...
Naga.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure about this pick. Honestly, that was a curveball to me.
That's a curious one. Last one up for Team Spirits. The puck for Laurel in that mid lane. So it looks like it should be shifting that bat to the 4 for Mira. A collapsed timber there grabbed up. So things locked into place pretty simply for them. And we see there Panda, Pos 5, Veno.
Yeah, it's going to be a support Veno here. And for Lycan, the offlane Lycan. I'm curious to see how this is going to play out. I was calling for the Laurel puck in last game, but obviously the Skywrath was there, so you couldn't really play it in that game. A little bit tough. But here, decent puck game. There's still Rubik Insta Lift, though, which can set you up for trouble if you get chain ensnared or jumped by a cookie. But this game mostly comes down to how big impact this Lycan can have to me. Because I think if he gets off to a good start, gets to take towers, and gets an early Helm of the Overlord, then I could see them definitely destroying this game. Or if he goes for just the Harpoon Manta build, which is also very strong.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at this lineup from EG, I think Tundra. I think they're going to play that wide map, cutting waves, making the map smaller for their opponents. And especially when you're looking at Puck, Timber, Batrider, wanting these team fights, wanting this like individual pick-off into, converting into an objective with that global silences coverage. If you make the map smaller, they've got fewer places to choose those fights to actually take them properly. And then you have that knock-on effect of Yatro's Medusa having less area to farm. But that's going to come after that laning stage breaks down.
That is what they did last game. They restricted Yatro's space a lot. This time, though, he's Medusa. He's going to get an early Manta style, and then he's going to use those illusions to push out lanes. I am only hoping for one thing. You know what I'm hoping for?
What's that?
No Midas on this Medusa. Don't. I was talking briefly with Sing Sing, who's also co-streaming this, about the Midas Terrorblades and Excalibur as well. We're talking about the Midas Terrorblades and the Midas, purchases in general. Some of them seem a little bit sketch. I'm not 100% sold on them, and we'll see what Yatoro does in this game as we get ourselves into this game 2 between Team Spirit and EG.
Yeah, they've been a bit curious, like using Midases as these like stopgap items, like 20 minutes in, buy a Midas, 10 minutes later, sell it, kind of having it for a 10-minute period just to try and ramp up your experience gain. But yeah, it's been a little bit odd. We'll see what Yatoro decides, because currently he's got himself, Wraithband, Bassi, and Treads queued up. That's what, there we go, the Manta after. Wagamama, smile on your face.
I mean, this is the stock standard build for Medusa. I think it's very hard to argue that Manta can be delayed for a Midas, because why? Sure, you get a bit of attack speed, but having illusions literally allows you to farm another place at the same time. Having more attack speed you can't put a price tag on being able to farm multiple areas at the same time as a Medusa. That's so valuable.
And those illusions are scary as well with the mana shield on them. So difficult to kill.
Yeah, at first it didn't work at all. That was good times. And it just insta-died.
The range creep looks at the illusion, it falls over.
Yeah.
Well, Lala's out here, smoked up. Should get his ward placed down before anybody gets nearby.
It's the ward. Not too deep of a ward, but still gonna give him very nice vision for the mid.
And EG up towards that top rune spot, sending wolves forward.
Yeah, they saw Timber was smoked, so maybe that gives a little bit of a read here for EG that, they probably put a deep ward because they were smoked. Usually, team smoking out and then showing on mid like that means that they have been, invading a little bit for vision.
Oh, Matthew's been spotted there. He walked right in between the Timber and the Puck, found a nice avenue up into that high ground. I don't know if he can steal that rune, though, even with wolves nearby. Team Spirit, 3 heroes strong in the vicinity.
Yeah,
even Panda.
Team Spirit don't really know how many heroes are up here, though, so it's a little bit scary for them. They only really see the Naga bottom, so they think all 4 heroes could be camping on that.
And EG with that high ground ward sees everyone coming. Wolves being chased, put the blood grenade into Gale. Matthew, what's he got leveled up? The Fade Bolt for a bit more damage onto Miposhka, and Scatterblast from Sea-Smile to secure it. Make sure there's no funny business.
Yeah, Laura was trying to get to deny, but not gonna happen there. So that extra little bit of gold's gonna give him some nice early items here on Sea-Smile. See if he just got super early bottle, or if he decides to go for some magic stick, which is the usual. If you get first blood out of mid, upgrade magic stick, and that's what he's gonna do. Send it out.
I give you that little leg up against these spammy heroes like Puck. We've seen these snapfires just crush lanes, like, I don't know, unexpectedly sometimes. Just come out and completely handle people. C-Smile's been playing this for ages.
Yeah, she's very annoying to lane against because of the Q. The Q actually gives you a massive 100 attack slow for 1 second. Obviously slows your movement speed too, so you can't really move. You also can't really attack. It's sort of like a soft stun, and it's very spammable. 85 mana cost, so she secures CS and she bothers you a lot. We can see she's just trying to make the puck come up so she can keep trading hits.
Oh, nice phase shift. Get away from some of that damage. Does get cookied on. Lol taking a bit of a beating there. Yeah, we were talking about, you know, Whisper and this kind of being his patch with the side lane carries coming into play. A similar story for C-Smile. A lot of these mid lane heroes which were unconventional not 6 months ago now being primetime heroes like this Snapfire. He's been playing it for years.
Yeah, definitely. He's probably very happy that the hero's, you know, become a mid-meta hero now. Top lane, some nice plays so far with Lycan there. A little bit of body block harassment brought the Medusa a bit lower than she wants to be. Only at 100 mana now. And if you get her low enough that she can't really continuously spam the snake, of course, then that makes it tough. For now, though, she's going to be fine. Bottom, blood grenades. Trading hits, TP out even.
And chucking stuff at Panda. Send him back to the tier 1. Nagasar in 5 last hits. Definitely feeling worse for wear on that bottom lane against the 9-3 collapse. The untouched Timbersaw should have a pretty easy ride.
And he's gonna get given solo experience here. Spatrai TP'd all the way to Fountain. That's obviously gonna be bad for him not being on the lane, but I think it's fine. I think Timber is happy here, 1v2 laning a little bit and getting experience. They're not pulling, pull is blocked, so he's just gonna be contesting the Naga here as much as he can, try and stop her CSing.
I mean, how do you deal with this Timber later on down the line? Is it all down to the Snapfire rotating?
Yeah, I think sometimes the best way to deal with Timber is just head in the sand. The way I like to call it is don't look
He
at
doesn't
him.
exist. La 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 la.
Yeah, I mean, you can invest resources to try and go and shut down the Timber, but you also can think to yourself, is it better to just make rotations somewhere else? Can I go bother the Medusa? Can I, you know, pressure another lane? Because Timber ultimately doesn't actually push towers that fast. It's his creeps that push the lane fast, so maybe you send someone down there to try and get rid of the creeps. You know, if you can push out, spam the lane a little bit. But other than that, ignoring Timber is usually a good call in the early game.
Is it worth bringing 4 heroes to kill him? Nah, probably not.
Radiant structure.
Especially if you don't get the kill.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. And drag back from Matthew onto Miposhka. Body blocks from the Wolves. Silencer gets himself back under the tower. Wave is going to aggro onto this Rubik, though. Blood grenade and some damage over time. Matthew, he's going to pop his wand. He's got Lotus to play with as well, so not a massive deal for him.
Yeah, Miposhka tries to fix the pull there by trying to pull it to a small camp, but Wolves secured the last hit on that. Mid lane CSing right now, 19-2 and 18-2, but still 3 creeps to take here. So C-Smile coming out with a bit of an advantage this far. I also think that he has purchased a little bit more regen on Puck already.
And 4-minute rune coming up. C-Smile going to secure that top one. Bottom, we did have Mira swing in just to make sure there's no one lurking around. Not afraid to leave Collapse down here solo, like you said. Yeah, she's getting solo experience, already level 4. A couple of points in that reactive armor make him untouchable. This is just EG trying to weather the storm and secure farm for Pakaz in the early stages.
I like what they're doing, just going up and auto-attacking the illusions there. Both heroes focusing down on the illusions. And Mira is gonna attempt to go for a pull here, but Panda trying to mess with him. The Gale, the right clicks actually do a lot of damage to that.
I'm going to jump over from Lol, gets onto the enemy side of the river. Try to do a bit of damage to the snap. It does get quite a lot on him, and C-Smile silenced up.
Here.
This is dangerous times. Both of them, I think, have raindrops, you know, trying to mitigate a lot of this damage. Well, down a bottom lane, they've slain Mira. Panda, blood grenade on him. The whirling death, the chain missing. Panda, very slow Venomancer, slithering along. He's trying to get a bit of distance from Collapse, dodging, juking, trying to get away from the chain, but there it is. The meat grinder comes in.
Very clean by Collapse, faking it out a few times there, getting in his auto attacks too. 2 auto attacks required there to really secure the kill. Play that very nicely.
And now mid lane. Mira's in there with a flame break. Lol orbs over C-Smile. Raindrops are keeping him alive for now, but the physical damage from the right clicks is enough. As EG rotate both supports here. They want a cross kill. I'm not sure how easy this is going to be, though. Mira's telekinesis back into the Gale. Blood grenade there, but the coil is there for Lol, trapping in the Rubik and getting him a double kill.
Yeah, Laurel gonna run away now. Has no mana for an orb, but he's gonna TP back to base. And that's a very common thing we saw just there. Someone dies on a side lane, then they TP mid bottle refill and use whatever you have to get a kill on mid lane. So in reality, Laurel is happy that his bottom support died first in the engagement that happened there, so that he first got the TP bottle refill and they could go over on Smile.
I wish you'd die more often, support.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's helpful for mid.
Oh, it's healthy bit of death. And Medusa, 31 and 7, not being too bothered by this Lycan in the top lane. And Whisper getting his farm on as well.
One good thing about Lycan against the Medusa is they can spam the Howl non-stop for big attack or damage reduction. And when you go late game, you could go for the Howl reduces total attack damage. Obviously, planning for level 25 is not really a thing so much in pro games, because most of them end way before that. But it gives you a bit of sense of security that, oh, if we go ultra late, like, Medusa isn't going to be impossible to deal with. We can just spam Howl a lot, and, you know, she has to deal with dispelling that somehow.
Well, they're still going to go on her. Wraparound from Pakaz. Naga Siren's arrived into this top lane, killing off Yatro with just an ensnare and a run forward there.
It's a very big rotation there, but Pakaz coming up top, like, it doesn't take him too long time, and now he can go up here, start farming the creeps in this area if you want, but...
Wisdom Rune. Matthew, he's got it. And he grabs it. And Miposhka out on an island here. They get found out by Panda and Matthew, but he just TPs away, knowing the stun is already spent.
I don't know how many times I've seen a Rubik just lift someone, toss them to the side when the Wisdom Rune spawns on 7. It feels like one of the big reasons why people like Rubik current patch is that he guarantees sort of the Wisdom Rune.
Oh, Mira. Playing with fire a little bit here. Gets over the cliff tops and into the trees. Pakaz sending Yatro back, and the kisses just chucked
He's
in
just
there.
waiting for him.
Covering fire from the Snapfire. And Whisper still chasing Mira, huh? Yeah. The Firefly ends, the wolves are surrounded, and the Batrider's dead.
Just covered both tracks. If he runs down, dies to the small wolves, run up, dies to a big wolf. Didn't really have an escape route there. Ultimately, the duration of Firefly, not long enough.
Gonna feel pretty good for Pakaz though, right? Like, Timbersaw hits 6, you don't want to be in that lane, so Naga rotates top, gets a kill on the Medusa, keeps Medusa out of the lane, and now farms that area of the map that Yatro wants to be in. Kind of forces the hand of Spirit here to put Collapse up top and defend the tier 1.
Yeah, it's a good move, but at the same time, bottom tower did fall before that rotation, so
right.
You could say that Collapse has now cleaned up bottom by getting rid of the tower, and now it's up to Team Spirit to start adjusting where they have their heroes. Yatro is currently just farming some jungle camp, but he probably wants to make his way over to a triangle, and then think about farming bottom and triangle area.
Well, EG, I'm going to slow down a little bit. Naga Siren down that bottom right-hand corner. 2 heroes mid. And it looks like 1 hero going to be stacking up the Ancients over on that left side of the map.
Yeah, have to prepare and get yourself a little bit of extra gold. Mira is actually going to get a snipe on the courier down here on bottom.
And Whisper, he's going to TP out of top, knowing how potent that Timbersaw can be. Gets a good read on Collapse's damage output. Successfully escapes, but Pakaz might not be so lucky.
Doesn't have
3
ulti.
heroes right in around him. Yeah, you're right. No Song of the Siren to save him, so he's just going to get burnt to a crisp.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really skill Song of the Siren by level 6 as Naga. He did put a point in Ensnare, and that's already more than, you know, a lot of carries will do. So he's gonna go down there. No way out, really, and they can't even punish it. They move heroes over here, though, on EG, but the vision advantage is for Dire on the cliff.
A difficult spot on the map to play into.
Yeah, but this is
down.
what I was talking about. Head in the sand. Timber is top. They don't want to play against Timber. Timber is too strong right now, so they go somewhere else. They simply don't want to be on his lane, so that's why they rotate bottom.
Was that a dead courier just floating in the middle of the sky down there? Oh, double raindrops from Miposhka.
Yeah. Mana regen, I guess, at least. Nah, that's a mispurchase for sure, but he's gotta get some mana regen. Pretty expensive. Would be cheaper to buy a mask at that point.
Oh, plus 100. Helm creep down. Collapse very happy with that. Panda still looking for his level 6 in the mid lane. And yeah, Matthew still level 4 actually, 10 minutes in. It's been a tricky one for EG supports here to find some foothold on the map. And hoping their cores can clear out some of these stacks they built up.
Yeah, It's going to be a rushed Lotus Orb on this Timbersaw, by the way. Playing against this matchup, you completely understand why. He can dispel the End Snare, get rid of the Venom stuff, and also protect people from the Ruby Lift Fade Bolt.
I mean, is this a game where the Venomancer can think about Spirit Vessel? Like Pos 5, Veno, we've seen rush Aghanim Scepter in quite a lot of the games.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we mainly saw the core Veno. Support Veno is weaker top.
This is.
Ulti.
Global, though, cancels out that initiation and collapse. 20 stacks over the... Oh, man, that magic burst damage. That haste rune gets him in position to blast him.
Yeah, that was close. That was really, really close to his TP. Man, first series and this series, so many TPs that are just barely not in time. Nice reaction with the global silence there against the kisses, but glad he could TP out during it.
Yeah, they bring everyone up here with the catapult wave. Finally clear out this tier 1 tower.
Dire's top tower has
And at what point do EG start thinking about Roshan with this, like, Lycan Venomancer?
Yeah, once you can secure that Team Spirit are not really in an active position to contest it, but they have pretty strong fighting heroes with the Puck having Witchblade already, and the Batrider, you know, also being a threat. I think you're not going to go for Roche too early here. They have decent Roche, but not fantastic.
Okay. And then that looming threat of the Medusa. Yatro's tucked himself back. Not looking amazing on the net worth, but definitely catching up after that laning stage, getting booted out of the top lane.
Yeah,
Panda right now farming.
He's slightly behind, but at the same time, the two other cores in his team are both doing fantastic. The Puck leading the way along with the Timber. So he's still going to get towards his Manta in a pretty good timing. And he, you know, thanks to him not going Midas, he's going to have that Manta in a good timing.
Hell yeah.
Same with the Naga. Pakas also going for Manta immediately here.
Oh man. Panda disappears. Level 10 Timbersaw.
I'm not too sure. You asked me about the Pos 5 Venomancer. I'm not too sure, to be honest, because we don't see a lot of people play the support Veno. It's very uncommon. Usually it's the core Venomancers, and support Veno is just... I think you try and get, like, I don't know, maybe a Pavis or something, and that's
Medallion?
Yeah, Medallion is decent. It's not fantastic on you the same way it's on, like, a Clink or something, but it's a good item. Definitely acceptable. I don't think you can really afford too much this game. A Vessel would be nice to have, but I don't know if you can really get there.
It's a pipe dream. The reason I was asking, because I remember Stinger was playing Pos 5 Veno a couple of days ago that we saw, and he really did rush the Aghanim Scepter as a support. But that was in a game where they kind of stomped lanes and they were winning and leading. In this kind of situation, you probably want one of these more incremental items, buy a few small components as the Venomancer. Lycan down at bottom, hunting Mira. Team Spirit bringing a couple of members down here to guard. Make sure that EG don't have easy access into the backline supports.
That's a Lycan ulti though, committed, so a little bit of a window here for Team Spirit if they want to start grouping up. They're going to heal up the Batrider. He's low HP mana right now. Once he comes out, he's going to join and they're going to smoke somewhere. However, move is coming mid. Rod of Atos.
Let's see if they can catch him out. Phase shift used, coil dropped. Still on the phase shift from the Rubik, but he's been pumped with silences. Matthew can't get away, and now the Snapfire trying to cook you out of the range of this Timber and Puck. Still giving chase while Mira's over the top of Panda, burning him down with a Firefly. Sea-Smile dived under the tier 2. Blown up by the Waning Rift and the Timbersaw catch. Dominating Puck. Panda died to Mira in that solo kill on the right-hand side. And Team Spirit starting to run over EG.
Yeah, Team Spirit just absolutely looking hyper active here. Compared to last game, they're just completely taking over. They got the bottom Wisdom Rune, they get the top Wisdom Rune as well, so both Collapse as well as Yatoro enjoying themselves a little bit of extra boost there on the experience, and an Archean Rune for Puck. No better rune to have on this hero, and he also has Travels already delivered.
Nice.
So the map is now very open for ganks, and I think Team Spirit in a fantastic lead.
So that's another hero, another topic which we've touched on, you know, covering Eastern European DPC. You were talking to Sing Sing about it in terms of itemization for the Puck, and maybe it not feeling super good that you kind of have to go Witchblade, but having a good game here, Puck's item decisions seem pretty straightforward, right?
Well, yeah, I would almost have expected him to go for a Blink Dagger over this Travels, but this does allow them to play more of a farming approach. The Witchblade is just a good damage item. You don't really have another option early on, but it's working out fantastic. Witchblade is, you know, still very active and strong in fighting. And all he needs to do is be available with Timbersaw. So the travels facilitates that. He can join in, because Timber has tons of damage, but he can't lock people in place. They can just TP out. But now, with the threat of Puck just traveling in, Timber becomes even more scary as well.
Yeah, then I guess you can kind of have Timber and Bat holding hands somewhere, and then the Puck joins in, because Bat has Blink, or is very close to it. It has the Blink delivered, yeah.
He got it delivered just now, so with Blink and Smoke in his inventory ready, he might go for a move after stacking up Ancients here, just prepping more farm for his Medusa, who's, you know, didn't have the strongest lane ever. She was doing fine, but now she's starting to take over, and he's going to be top of that net worth very, very soon.
Yeah, been stacking for himself, gone from, what, 5th to 3rd position. Slightly overtaken by the Naga for now, but that's going to change quickly.
Yeah,
Matthew
number 1 is coming.
Yeah, it really is. And Matthew in a pretty good spot there to get some deep ward coverage, but in the mid lane, caught out by that Bling Lasso play. Puck over the top, tries to cookie, and he's dead to rights.
That was a good catch. The Invis Puck there sneaking in, Invis and Arcane Rune. I mean, double Rune usually is very, very strong. And just to get himself in a good spot to initiate. And for now, EG just look a bit greedy. They don't really look like they're making moves. All of them are just farming. As I say that.
Tumble, boing. Miposhka, he will get lifted up. TP cancelled. Looked like he might have found an avenue to escape there, but EG, they're now starting to invade this ancient spot. Yatoro, he's under vision. Noxious Plague. A lot of sticky poison thrown at them, and Mira getting slowed down and burst by the physical damage from Whisper. Rubik might be in a bit of trouble, though. Spot a bother as the Puck. Oh, the Waning Rift steal. The turnaround with Lotus Plague saves up Lol. Right place, right time, but Lol has moved into this Lycan, who grabs a triple kill. Seasmile's lurking in the shadows, waiting on the outskirts of the fight, while Whisper keeps fighting into Yatoro. Now the Naga and the Snapfire, they just unload the damage on her. It's just ignore Collapse and go absolutely wild on the rest of these Team Spirit heroes.
Yeah, and then they just song and TP out. Like, this isn't even a song to do anything but save Matthew there. It's not like any core was in danger, but they don't need to save the song for someone else. They keep Timber from getting a single kill there as they exit. And Lycan, big impact in that fight. He went for the Helm of the Overlord build as well. That's the entire thing now. And it was very funny to see the triple heroes jumping in. A lot of
tumbles.
A lot of tumbles coming in.
Honestly, though, MVP, Matthew. Like, before that fight started, we saw Seasmile die mid, maybe because Matthew was out migrating into that enemy triangle and he got that high ground ward down. So, EG saw everything in that fight.
Yeah, that was really, really good vision. And it's also with Wolves can be big for just scouting as well. But, of course, having deep wards help a lot. And, yeah, the fight, Team Spirit probably thought that they are stronger for team fighting and ultimately didn't connect that well. The fight started with them running away from Lycan ulti, and then they tried to turn it into a fight, and it was just hard for them to do so. They didn't get to start the fight on their own terms. And EG now, as I said that they weren't making moves, they made a very, very crucial move there with the Lycan and the Rubik to start.
That Helm of the Overlord. Massive creep, the Ancient Granite Golem there to play with. Collapse, still trying to get involved here, playing very far forward.
Yeah, they don't have Snapfire Kisses yet, so they know that no Snap Kisses, no Song. Lycan just got his ulti back, so Team Spirit playing pretty confidently here, going up and taking over the map. Top lane, Panda. Just being sneaky here.
Right on the edge of the scan as well.
He's setting himself up to farm the enemy jungle.
He's in the mines, Waga.
He is literally in the mines. He yearns for them. Setting up a British tourist attraction here.
Get into the mine shaft. Go down the elevator. See what awaits you in the deep depths of darkness. Lol poking up to the enemy high ground. No vision there for Team Spirit, though. It's a little worrisome, but they do blink lasso the Venno. Drag Panda back in. He gets a couple of spells out, though. Ulti plus Gale onto Mira. Shapeshift Lycan hunting for Miposhka. The summons and creeps going to slice through him, and now Mira's in trouble with the kisses over the top. Yataro's going to come in with the help of the coil. They've blown up Matthew, and now Timbersaw's joining. Coil snaps to the cookie. Seasmile going to get slowed in the chakra, and he's dead. A double for Collapse. Whisper TPing out. And Pakaz, yeah, out on the map, not involved.
I mean, it wasn't as bad as it could have been there, at least, because they managed to get 2 pickups in the back, but they're getting absolutely handled here, and it by you know, a lineup with Medusa. You do have your Naga farming, but Naga doesn't do that well against Medusa later on. The matchup isn't the easiest. So, a little bit worrisome for them losing that fight. The Lycan ulti was very early. But ultimately, it's not about the puck. The puck is not being controlled enough. They just have the Rubik lift for now. They need some more tools to deal with him. I'm looking through their purchases here and see if they're trying to get something. Naga is going for a heart. She's about to complete it in just 100 gold. So I'm not going for an early orchid or something like that.
Yeah, Rod of Atos not the easiest to land either.
Yeah,
clicking on
helps,
the Venomancer.
Venomancers, yeah, he's going for Aghanims with 2,600 gold in his inventory, so surely he buys the point booster now. Yeah, there he goes. Stops holding his money and buys it. A big thing, by the way, previously in some ganks that I find to be very odd. If you throw Noxious Plague as Veno, and it gets disjointed, say, by Phase Shift or Blink or something, or Manta Style, in the case of the gank that we saw, then it still spreads to all the targets nearby. The spread effect still happens. That's how Batrider died from the slow earlier. There was a Manta dodge on the ulti, and that immediately meant they triggered. If you didn't
They threw it at Medusa and it just like spread everywhere.
Yeah, if it didn't Manta dodge on Medusa, then Batrider wouldn't get slowed yet. It would wait, but then of course the Medusa would be slowed instead. So she basically just passed it on.
Hot potato. Doesn't want to touch it. Spirit gathering up pretty much everyone down bottom. Timbersaw, the only one out there.
Yeah, Butterfly means that they want to go for Roche here. Not a great timing for EG to fight into Team Spirit here, since the Illusions and the Lycan Wolves, even the Venom Wards, the auto attacks from Snapfire, none of it can really connect that nicely on Medusa. So Medusa has a massive power spike right now, and that could lead to them taking maybe Tier 2 Tower or maybe Roche.
Miposhka by the outpost. I see Smart just trying to clear out that mid wave. Lal is waiting to collect it though. Make sure that map equilibrium just shoved across the river. Give Team Spirit a bit more leeway heading down to that bottom right corner.
Yeah, we can see the builds being queued up on the puck. He wants to go for a Sange and then goes for the Aghanim Scepter. Interesting. Really going Aghanim Scepter is not too common on puck anymore, ever since it changed into the enemies are attacked in Dream Coil.
Yatoro is kicking out everyone from that bottom jungle.
This is a nice spell for Mystic Snake, or for Rubik here. Mystic Snake gonna be very, very synergetic for him. Double nuke. Panda again in trouble.
Yeah, he steps out of line.
I mean, that's what supports do. You have to try and push yourself into dangerous areas sometimes and provide information for your team. Try and get some wards down, you know, be sneaky. Sometimes you get caught on your bullshit, and that's what happened to him there.
Well, it's a bit of information, right? You know there's a couple of heroes there. They're pushing tier 2. They're not in Roche. We don't need to bother about contesting Roshan right now.
Yeah, and look what Team Spirit do with that. They transpose from giving information, we're all bottom, to immediately smoke to start moving top. Obviously, though, there was a ward nearby, and they see that there's no one behind Medusa right now, so we'll see if the smoke is going to connect.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It might, but they're playing pretty safe here on the side of EG, just trying to farm the map.
I'm going to try and connect with that Timbersaw. Utilize his massive damage output.
Yeah, and set up for a tower. They got the tier 2 tower bottom. Yatoro just solo pushing it, pretending as though he had backup, led to him getting the tower. And at the same time, EG didn't want to show top, because, yeah, they might have backup bottom, but they could also be behind Collapse. And they didn't want to risk it. Correctly so, they stay away from either.
Yeah, I mean, good luck dealing with Collapse right now. Pretty much untouchable as he just chains straight forward in towards Pakaz. Trying to slow down his retreat.
Nice spell to steal for Rubik. Tons of damage.
Yeah, great stuff for him to grab. Team Spirit, they are maneuvering up here with everybody. How are we looking on the timer? 30 seconds till night? So this makes sense. Pushing out his tier 1. Gather themselves up, readying for that transition of Roshan into the top left corner. But Mira, Lotus Orb on him to get rid of the ensnare. Rooted up though by that Rod of Atos, and looking like he's going to die to Naga Illusion as Bat's gone. Yatoro is going to have to Stone Gaze here as the Lycan diving into the back, looking for the supports. Miposhka shredded, does get off his global. Before dying, the kiss is cancelled in the middle of that, but now Yatoro, he needs Collapse here to try and protect him. He's lost all of his mana. Yatoro close to death, and he will fall in the end. Collapse. He's like the only one left standing. He's got a 1v5 right now. Matthew with the lift up, dragging back into Whisper. He blows up the Rubik. Collapse. He'll slip away. Pops is great to Healing Lotus, but Lol doesn't really want to join in anymore.
Yeah, he's chasing though. He knows Lycan doesn't have ulti anymore, and Lycan also doesn't have boots, so he's trying to catch that. He gets held in place though.
Can they kill him?
I don't think
know
so. He has Lotus ready. He can keep walking. He's very hard. I think actually saying he has Lotus ready isn't very descriptive anymore, since there's Lotus Orbs. But yeah, Lotus Orb, Lotus pools, you know. Get the Lotus Orb ready.
Multi-Lotus. He's just sticking around and going back in. He sees Panda, knows how quickly he can take him down. Does get some poison and goo thrown at him.
Like, it's like, don't kill my friend, I beg of you, but
Just
Timber.
come back here. Get slept. Stop moving.
Chain
Lotus
stun coming
Orb in 3 seconds. The chain stun from the Cookie. Whisper with the damage. Trying to control up, and they do kill off the Timbersaw. His unstoppable streak finally put to an end.
Ooh, he gave him a lot of gold too. Look at that. Over 1,500 gold going over their way. Very, very nice.
And then they're into the pit. This was Team Spirit's plan, right? To win a team fight top and then shift back into Roche, but it's EG who come out on top in the end.
Is under
Yeah,
attack.
and now they have Assault Cuirass as well in Lycan, so this Roche
Wait.
is pretty damn fast. They have Orchid over on the Naga. Team Spirit want to contest this, but they're not
Without?
quite in time.
Without the Timber? They're still in position here, looking like they want to fight. They've got to bail on this, surely.
There's no way. There's no way they fight without Timber. They're trying. Okay, Yatoro is going in. Yatoro wants to take this fight. I don't know what
This is a risky one. They do get the Blink Lasso. Mira finds a great target. See Smile, BKB up. He's going to die. The physical damage overwhelmed him even through the BKB as Whisper shape-shifted just to sprint away from danger. Team Spirit, I mean, they come in, get a big pick off, and now they're looking at Pakaz.
I'm surprised that he's
Won't
just
follow.
running away there on Lycan because, you know, the lasso was used. Timber's dead. I feel like he could have ulted and just run in, done what he did in previous fight, kill down the silencer if he shows himself, or maybe even threaten to go over on the Medusa again.
Pakaz throwing some nets at Yatoro. Scardy's here for the Deucer now, though. Pakaz, no mirror image, holding Aegis. Manta style ready as well, but a coil in from Lol, snapping it onto the Rubik, and the Timber Chain. Slices straight through Matthew. Whisper with no shapeshift, gonna have to TP out. There's a lacking of stuns here from Spirit to stop him.
They're gonna kill his creep though. That's pretty big. The dragon is very important for Lycan. Going for this Helm of the Warlord build, you really don't want to lose your mega creeps, or your ancient creeps. So he's gonna go straight to ancient camp again and try to find a new creep.
That's like 250 gold. Nice chunk of change there. Yatoro frontlining. There's a DD rune spawned down at bottom. Medusa just gonna pop a Manta, run it back.
It's also a big thing for Lycan which creep you have. He's gonna go over here and find the Thunderhide. That's nowhere as strong as the dragon.
I mean, does he just die to collapse here? There's Timbersaw. He's a little alone trying to find that snipe on Whisper, but the kisses and the slows, the gale and everything, but half HP Timber gets away with the help of that global silence coverage. And now Pakaz being eyed up by Mira. Blinks away from the ensnare as Lal and Miposhka waiting in the wings. Yatoro even looking to join in.
Yatoro gets four.
Rooted up by the Rod of Atos, surrounded by these Lycan creeps. Dangerous territory for EG to invade into, though. They 4-man smoke, still trying to play into this Naga Aegis. But Team Spirit very strong with their front line.
Yeah, Team Spirit have that DD rune on the Medusa, so holding that, if they fight into it, they know that she can just pop that DD rune, and that would be a very dangerous fight to take for EG. So they're just relaxing a bit now, backing up. They use the smoke and try to reposition, maybe get some deep rewards. Right now, the vision advantage is pretty big for Dire, as they decide to go for this early gem. Got themselves some really nice vision planted as well.
Pakaz being zoned by 2 Deucer illusions. Get out of here.
Yeah, those illusions. I mean, they farm so fast and also push people away. Bottom lane, collapse. In pretty populated territory here. There's 3 Radiant heroes are nearby.
Whose territory is it, though? Is this your
Timberman's?
home, EG? I don't think so. You're being evicted. Timbersaw. The big bad wolf, huffing and puffing, blowing your house down. Whisper is a little puppy right now. Not shapeshifted up. Collapse. Lotus Orb up. Bouncing spells back and forth. See Small, BKB, and still trying to fight into this as they do lasso Venomancer up on the right-hand side and shred through him, but Collapse. He's dead in the end. Whisper with a
he might kill-
shapeshift. Big damage
Yeah.
onto Mira with a crits. Okay. Well, they reclaim their house.
Lycan does have a lot of damage. He's going for a Hex next on the Lycan as well. It's really nice to get some control against the Puck, be able to lock down heroes and get some kills. I like the idea of him going Hex and then maybe even back for a Halberd as well for the Medusa. Since he can kind of get away with just going for these control items now, his damage is already pretty damn good on Lycan.
I love these Hex pickups. We've had so many games where like offlane Lycans and Beastmaster literally just go, okay, Helmet Overload, Ace, Overload. Oh, Coil misses.
Coil gets duped there. Nice little Force Staff by Rubik.
There's like 2 core items, then it's like, okay, I need Blink, Hex, Refresher Orb. And then I've got Blink, double Hex.
Yeah, it's very nice when you have all those things. But Puck already preparing for it, though. He's buying a Linken's for himself, so he's going to be ready. Probably not preparing for the Lycan's Hex necessarily, but more so the Rubik Lift and the Orchid on Naga. But the more things you have, the harder it is for Puck to survive, right? If you have Orchid alone, maybe that's not going to be enough. But if you have Orchid and Hex, and then, you know, maybe someone else triggers Linken's as well, then suddenly Puck's game is really hard to play.
So a welfare check on the Venomancer. 1, 7, and 14. He's got his Ags.
Yeah, he has Ags, and I think, you know, he's working on that Force Staff. Definitely would be nice for him to have some way of repositioning, as we've seen him die like 6 times to a Timbersaw, just cutting him down. But yeah, the Aghanims is definitely pretty damn useful. Gives you some value when you die, right? Because even if he dies now, the effect of the ulti still, or the effect it happens.
You're spreading the plague. Medusa illusions, ever present. Just clearing out an entire creep wave. Not even 3 heroes could take them down. And a Maelstrom grabbed up by Yatoro now. So a way to deal with these Naga illusions and Lycan summons a little better.
This is it's looking like they're shutting them out in a nice way and aiming to take control of the top part of the map. It's a funny game though, because EG, I don't feel like they're as far behind as the gold indicates. It's a 9,000 gold lead, but really EG have put up some pretty strong fights as well.
Yeah, especially with this Naga hitting her timings.
Oh, her butterfly is on courier. She gets it before it dies.
That was a little close for comfort.
That was very clutch. If she didn't get that, that would have been 2 minutes and 40 seconds of not having your butterfly. Could have been a big timing window for Team Spirit to play on. But she was there close enough.
What is that? That's like then a 15k gold lead that Team Spirit would have, basically.
Yeah, essentially. It would be really good timing.
Yeah, Team Spirit there. This gold lead is the gold lead. I think only the Puck is holding on to a tremendous amount of money. Everyone else is buying out, spending up.
Yeah,
EG are going to smoke.
Working on a BKB on the Batrider and a second Lotus Orb over on the side of Silencer as well, making sure that they have more dispels.
Where are EG heading? Straight into their Ancients? Dire have scanned them. Bloodstone delivered by the Timber.
They're going on him? Oh, he jumped away.
He's already chained out of there. Who can they chase now? Rod of Atos, a Cookie, catching Yatoro a little bit. Chuck a Gale at the Timber on the right-hand side as they do blow up Miposhka in the back lines. This Lycan making life a living hell for Spirit supports. But with their front line still tanking through everything, Collapse and Yatoro just stand there fighting. Whisper and Picard's not quite sure that where they want to be right now. They're thinking about evacuating this top area of the map with a song and a TP out. Looks like they do not want to battle anymore.
Yeah, they don't have Lycan ulti. Lycan went in, did his job, and now he's gonna just run away. Same Snapfire already used her ulti, so instead mid we see Laurel TPing to mid, shoving mid. Seasmile is still here.
I mean, with that information, Picard's has gone on the deucer now. Yatoro, he's been surrounded. Doesn't have the backup of anybody. Seasmile's zoning out Laurel. Yatoro is dead. Picard's has come in and got the job done. They do lasso the Snapfire up to the cliff top, though. The BKB not going to work out for her. Collapse and Laurel wanting to snipe out Matthew. Not able to get on top of the Picard's Naga Siren, and a good lift back by the Rubik gets him a bit of distance, but the chase continues. The silence on the puck, though.
Trouble.
This Orchid might be in a spot of bother, but he's going to get the fake shift and the orb out. Whisper still being hounded and harassed by this collapsed Timbersaw. Chakrams and whirling dance causing a whole world of hurt and pain. But Collapse is a little alone now. He's on the wrong side of the tracks, but he's so tanky they can't do anything against him. Handa's got to seal Totem to high ground. You're right, he does. I don't care, tier 3s and tier 4s. I've got heroes lined up in my sights.
Oh yeah, Whisper's a good Timber. I'll show you. Collapse pulls out his own Timber here and is having an absolute field day, just doing whatever he wants. 11-3, level 23 in this game, and they don't have a good Timber counter in their lineup. Like, none of their heroes are amazing against Timber. All of them are actually quite bad. And he's showing it. He's letting it show here as he's now going to get the Shard coming out as well. That will greatly help him run people down as he gets that Flamethrower as well.
And push buildings as well. I mean, at what point do you take your heads out of the sand?
Well, yeah, you need to start addressing him. He gets both Wisdom Runes. That puts him to level 25. He was just level 23. He has the second Chakram now. Uh-oh. This is getting dangerous, Gareth.
Yeah. That is an awful lot of damage.
He is going to cut people up so fast. I love the fact he's going for a Blink Dagger next. I think it's absolutely the item he needs. And, yeah, this game is going to start going wide open. He has the Travels ready to join his team. Thinking about TPing through. He sees bottom, sees that Pass is in the area.
It's kind of amazing how Timber has, like, changed over the years from being, I tank, me tank, to being, like, one of the best, if not, like, the best magic and pure damage bursting heroes in the game.
Yeah, at least in this game that we're seeing right now. I mean, he's saying, puck step aside, Snapfire, move over. This is Timbersaw. I'm going to show you how to burst.
EG are readying themselves for a contest on Roche, but Nagasaren's a little distant. Got to migrate through the river. Far to the northwest as Roche drops to half health. Kisses starting to rain in onto Team Spirit. Bit of covering fire from Madame Howitzer. Lars looking for the jump. They do see the Rubik. Looking for the quick snipe onto Matthew and should get the job quickly done. Lasso on the snap as well. Mira found a secondary target. Sea Smile in trouble. Nagasaren trying to loop in behind them as Sea Smile TP's away. Where's the rest of EG? They're lurking, hiding in the trees. Whisper is in the tree lines. Picard's trying to steal Roshan. He might get it done. He songs up. Roche close to death. Can they finish it off before the song ends? The Aegis is in hand and he's TPing home. And he stuns and he catch nothing to stop him.
Wow. Wow,
No.
wow.
What?
That was a really clutch move. Holy.
I was watching Naga on the map and wondering, what the hell is he doing?
Holy, that was a really clutch move. That was a terrible fight overall. And he managed to spin it around to have a good ending. That was absolutely crucial. He didn't get the cheese though, so he only gets 1 star. Sorry. Could have been better. Only took the Aegis.
Left the cheese.
Yeah. It's a tip for the enemy for the hard work they did, you know, bringing down Roche solo.
Have you seen what Collapse has got as his neutral item? He's going to show Sea Smile what it is.
Oh boy.
Timeless Relic burning through the Snapfire. He's in a 1v4 situation, but he kills off Sea Smile, takes down the Lycan. The puck is joined in to help him out and bring the numbers up as Collapse. Oh yeah, he regens up a ton of mana. I think he ate a Lotus there to chase into the tier 3s and get on top of Panda. Shadow Amulet time for the Venomancer. Hide away, don't play the game, please leave me alone. Collapse, he's taking a little bit of chip damage, but I just don't think he's bothered at all. Panda's the one taking the brunt of the damage, dies in the end, pops his ulti as the Nagasaran gets lassoed back into them. Yes, you've got Aegis, but you could die twice here potentially. Flame Break and the Global Silence giving coverage, but Mira BKB slips away from the Naga's damage. Now with the slow, the Skadi keeping tabs on Pakaz. Collapse, he eats up the cheese. The Snapfire buying back to try and fight. Slow to the Chakrams as the puck and Timber keep on chasing. Shadow Amulet's there, but Pakaz on the right side, we see her. Nagasaran slow to a crawl, TPing out, again successful with a lack of stuns, but EG is still being run over, dived by their tier 4s. This Timbersaw is untouchable.
Absolutely amazing for him. He can do whatever he wants. They went on him. They thought that maybe we can kill him. Pakaz has to be careful stepping up here. But you see how easily they reinforce. They have that Global Silence always ready. They have the Travels on the puck, and people just reinforce so easily. And you do not bring down Timber fast. 4.5k HP, you don't need Aghanims if you're this tanky.
Yeah, Panda getting coiled up and slammed by the Chakrams. My god. Collapse with his damage. Bloodstone's up, permanent mana regen. And the barracks starting to get taken down by Team Spirit.
Look at Mira coming in.
Yeah, lasso on to Sea Smile. I mean, he bought back previously, so a death here means he's gone for 100 seconds. Pakaz on an island. Stranded here. He's got no one to play with. Body blocked into death, and that might be it. No buybacks for EG, and their base is crumbling.
It's all falling apart. This Timber is doing absolutely whatever he wants. He wants another kill, gets another kill. Level 27. Lycan ultis to run back into his fountain, but not really much more he can do here. Yes, Hex, but Lincoln's is ready on the puck.
Complete monster. This Timbersaw. Straight onto the tier 4s. And Panda and Whisper. Oh, you just don't last long. I get the Scythe to collapse for a couple of seconds. A rest. There's no safety.
Blink.
No breathing room.
Too long of a slow, just can't really get away, and the Chakrams eventually will find you. Still refusing to tap out here. They do not want to call it, but I don't think you have a choice. This game is over. Lycan doesn't have ulti. They just kind of watch as their throne gets brought down here. Team Spirit going for a little bit of a dive before the game's over.
Classic Team Spirit faction as well, right? Lose game 1, a little bit of sloppiness. EG look very good. Game 2, they come out swinging. Collapse Timbersaw. Beautiful
like
stuff.
If this was a 3-game series and we would see game 3 here, I think Team Spirit with them again. And that's the thing. That's what I don't like about Team Spirit, honestly, is that game 1, they tend to have this weakness, and then they look like a completely different team in game 2. I do want to say shout out to Whisper on the effort that he did here, because this might be 9, 1, and 10 on Lycan in a game where you lost. So definitely, did the most that he could here. He got a lot of kills. He ran down the silencer a lot, but ultimately the hero didn't address the Medusa, the Timbersaw, the Puck. These heroes, that's the problem with the Lycan pick. He kills supports, but you don't kill the Timber and the Medusa here, surely.
Yeah, Collapse completely unanswered in this game. Really, just running in 1v5 in a lot of these fights to start things off. Break vision, get a kill, get the numbers advantage, and then these boots of travel come into play from Team Spirit. EG here, we see them, fighting back, but whenever they got a team fight win, it was always on the back foot, like on their doorstep. Yeah, they get a couple of kills. They rebuff Team Spirit for a while. A good steal on an Aegis later on down the line as well is like a silver lining, making an awful situation a little bit sweeter. It just was never a resounding victory in any of these actual engagements.
Yeah, no, it was very, very difficult. The fights that they did win was when Team Spirit kind of overstayed or split up, like when Medusa stayed top after a team fight win, and they traveled the Puck mid. Medusa should probably not have stayed, or Puck should not have traveled. Doesn't really matter who's in the wrong. The team was in the wrong, right? They split up a bit too much, and then they lost extra resources. But overall, this game looked very controlled from Team Spirit from the start to finish, I want to say. EG did have some moments of hope. They, did have stuff going for them, but ultimately, I'm not too sure about the post 5 Venomancer being reliable. I'm also not really happy with the way they picked Lycan into those heroes, even though he got a lot of kills. He didn't seem like he solved the existing problem of the Timbersaw, of the Medusa. And ultimately, Team Spirit, they round out the series here, 1-1.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, another one of those drafts where, EG trying to do these bait and switches, moving heroes around into different positions, kind of trying to unsettle them, but a really good showing just in the draft in general from Team Spirit to, solidify their own game plan, what they want to do rather than trying to mitigate their opponents or meet and match what's going on there. And like you said, 1 apiece, rounding out this best of 2 in the group stage for the Riyadh Masters. And I think we've got about a 20 or 30 minute break until our next series, which is going to be Tundra against Talon. So we'll see you then.